Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the new CSGO tournament prize playoffs. And we are here in what is looking to be a fantastic matchup tonight. UWE Sea Stags versus the Trent Thunder Diamond. I'm Ampulio, and I'm here with my co-caster Neokai. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, it should be a good game, right? I mean, the UWE Stags are a team who, for the last sort of 2 to 3 years, they've been very, very notable. Significant performances from them where they've, even to the fact that where they've won it before, right? So they're a very, very good side. I think the individuals, in particular, are of that sort of higher caliber. They play in UKPL, they've got a lot of experience. Even if you look over towards like some Magic, he's played EU FBLC and NA FBLC. So they've got a very, very talented lineup. And I think Trent Thunder Diamond, while they themselves are arguably the new boys on the block, they've got a tough task ahead of them.
Yeah, that's certainly somewhat a statement. Obviously, if you were following, if we head across to the bracket, UWE Sea Stags, they took down the Ruskin Ravens at 16-8. They 2-0'd Portsmouth Paladins, and now they're here. And Trent Thunder Diamond, they've been faring all right as well. 16-12 in the first round, but then also another 2-0. Oh, slightly perhaps more of a fight versus Swansea Storm.
Yeah.
And obviously they've arrived here, so no actual 2-1s, not too any maps dropped. But it should be a match. As you say, new guys on the block versus sort of the old age guys who have got a lot of experience between them. I mean, they're big names. You know them, I know them.
Exactly.
So it's gonna be experience versus, I mean, not exactly inexperience, but somewhat new this sort of level.
Yeah, I think, so I covered the UWE Sea Stags against Paladins game, and, Paladins dominated first map. It was overpass. I can't remember the exact score off the top of my head. It was a couple of weeks ago now, but, we come into this and we were saying the same thing. So, like, UWE Sea Stags, they should comfortably clean this up because them, individual mechanical prowess is probably a step above most of the teams within the sort of the in this caliber, right? In university sort of CSGO, they're up there with some of the best in terms of just their individual ability. So I sort of expected them to come into it pretty comfortably, take it, and it wasn't the case. Portsmouth Paladins, if I'm right in saying it was something along the lines of a 10-0 start kind of thing. The Portsmouth Paladins on overpass on their CT side, where UWE Sea Stags, they looked lackluster. And of course, fortunately for them, they turned it around just about. But, for Trent, they've kind of got this sort of air unknown about them. There's going to be no anti-stratting coming in. It's going to be very heavily reliant on sort of, individual prowess. Aim coming in towards the server. And, of course, the biggest thing is just how they come out. If it's a slow start, which UWE Sea Stags, again, at times are prone to, they could be punished for it.
Yeah, they're certainly, to a degree, the favourites. But as you say, this is all about getting a strong start, getting into it, and building up the momentum, because I think it was last week that we did see in the best of three, was it Ruskin Ravens versus Boona Half Men, and Boona Half Men they just shut down. They didn't even start going, and they were a capable team, but they just couldn't get any sort of a foothold. And if UWE Sea Stags can't get any foothold, if the momentum's not there, if there's no morale, they will not be in this game tonight, and they want to be in this game. This is the upper bracket final, so whoever wins this will be going through to the final guaranteed, and some guaranteed prizes. And whoever does go down will be playing against the winner of Swansea Storm and the Taco Bridge, or Taco, sorry, versus Portsmouth Paladins. So whoever loses, it's not done for them, but it's certainly a trickier path. It's not guaranteed finals.
Exactly. That's the sort of the fortunate thing about an upper bracket. You do have this second chance, this lifeline. If things don't go well today, it's not the end of the world. That's the beautiful thing about having that consistently strong performances when it matters most in terms of course, the upper bracket. But again, it goes down to the same thing. You don't want to drop into the lower bracket. Things become very, very uncomfortable. The pressure starts to build up. And that's where I think for one of these two sides, whoever, falls here, it could be mentally quite damaging looking forward. Of course, you want to again try and make it towards grand finals, but that path there becomes significantly tougher. I'm looking into this one, in terms of predictions. It's hard to sort of make a prediction as I don't really know Trent Thunder Diamond that well. As I mentioned, the sort of the new boys on the block. UWE Sea Stags, I've covered the players individually in their organizations here, far and everywhere. And I can say for them, they're very, very talented. And if I know them as well as I do, they should come away with a win here. But as I said, Trent Thunder, they can bring this air of unknown about them, unable to counter strat. If they come into the server firing on all cylinders, they could be unstoppable.
Yeah, it's certainly, I say, an air of unknown, and they've got nothing to lose. And also, it's not the fact that they're just, it could be an upset. It's these guys have got some good results. These guys have progressed to here. These guys certainly could take it. It's maybe an upset to some people who would who class UWE as the favourites. but it's not impossible by any means, and it's certainly a feasible feat. And we could go beat 3 maps here. I mean, it could be a 2-0 either way, but
Exactly.
the 3 map sort of face off going to a final decider certainly could be in the cards. As we hopefully we find out what the veto is.
I was gonna
That'd be
say, yeah.
nice.
That'll be I mean that kickstarts this narrative, right? The veto is where things get to start and sort of building a storyline for us as casters. I think, coming into this one here, it's a well, it's a big question. As I mentioned, I covered UWE Stags versus Portsmouth Paladins a couple of weeks ago, and the Paladins were dominant on Overpass, and that might be a bit of a question mark for Sea Stags. They were lackluster, to say the least. Their T side on Overpass was really, really shocking, to the least. From a team who I said, as individuals, they're very, very talented. They did not show it. So for them, it might be one of the ones which they don't want to risk again. And then, of course, for them, it's the decision about where they want to go. As I said, they're kind of individually maybe one of the more talented sides in terms of their just raw aim. They might want to maneuver their way to the more puggy style maps. You talk about your Mirage, your Dust 2, your Inferno, because it gives them room to work with of individual players rather than team synergy. But I mean, it's still to play for. Trent Thunder, they could pull an ace up their sleeve. An Ancient maybe would be throw a spanner in the works. A Vertigo as well, very team based, reliant on utility. It's all really up to how Trent want to maneuver it themselves. What do they go for their first ban? What do they go for their first pick?
Yeah, I was talking about this last week with Zach, and Zach was like, "Oh, really want to see them like, oh, they've been practicing this the entire time, and now in the upper bracket final, they're just going to pull something out of nowhere, and it's
Yeah.
an absolute surprise. That would be fantastic. I would love to see that, but we say to a degree that's not going to happen.
No.
It is perhaps university levels, yes, but it's certainly good. And even if it's just like they've practiced a bit and they're just completely pulling it out of nowhere, if they've not played Ancient this entire tournament and they decided to just not ban it and let it go through. And I think we almost had that last week with Ancient, and I think Vertigo was the end up the decider that we didn't get to. But it certainly could happen. I would like to see it happen, but I don't know how likely it is.
Yeah, I think Age is quite unlikely. It's a map which is still being tried and tested. It's not secure by any means. I think Vertigo had the same sort of thing when it was coming into towards the pool. So coming into this, I'd be very unlikely if we saw an Ancient come into the play. I think it's not a map in which you can kind of play that puggy style of play. It's very open. The rotations are quite long. It requires a lot of utility to find comfort over, especially that A site if you want to clear out towards Temple, clear out towards Donut. So in that sense, I think it's not worth the risk going to an Ancient. But as I said, back to the puggy style maps, that might be what UWE Sea Stags lean towards. Your Dust 2s, your Infernos, your Mirages, just try and play things very, very secure in that sense, and then just rely heavily off individual prowess. And again, it goes back to what I was saying. If we're speaking about individuals, when you have a team that consists of Magic, who's played FPLC in both NA and EU, Crit, who's competed UKPL for the last 4 seasons, it's like, these guys are very, very talented in their own regard. And yes, while this is university CSGO, it's not a low level. These guys have all played at the top tier of the UK scene.
Yeah. That's I was going to add to that in that. Yeah, as you said, Magic Crit, and also Mr. Hoy, I believe that's how his name is. That's how I've believed it for a while. Yeah, exactly. They're all they've been playing with the best. The best guys in the UK, inside and outside of uni. So they've got that experience, and they've proved themselves. They're not just like, oh yeah, we've been there. That's it. It's we've been there, and they've been some of the best players. Like Crit is just can be fantastic at times. He can just pop off, and if he does, like tonight, or if any of them do tonight, they can completely shut down the Trent Thunder team, and it could be fantastic. Maybe no one pops up at all. Maybe one person carries. That's I guess that's an option. I say an option. One of the possibilities that UWE have is that their individuals are so good that they can just have someone pop off and they can carry and win. Whereas I don't think Trent really have that much of an option. So yeah, that's certainly something to consider, which we may see, we may not.
One to keep an eye on for me is Whiffen. I think I've seen him a couple of times. He's quite a talented individual, so definitely someone to keep a note on. But as you mentioned, right? I mean, there's UWC Stags, they have guys who have played at the top level. I mean, like Crit and Magic in particular, we've already mentioned the names, but 2 seasons ago in UKPL, which is the highest echelon of UK Counter-Strike, right? They came second place. The only team they lost to in that entire thing was Endpoint, not Academy. Endpoint in the grand finals, best of 5. So they're a very talented side. They were predicted to finish dead last in that entire thing. I think it was dead last out of 10. They finished second overall, only behind arguably the biggest organization to have ever touched CSGO from kind of the UK scene. Of course, you can maybe argue Fnatic now, but they've never been UK until now. So we're not going to bring them into that debate. But yeah, you know, they're a very good side, right? So you can't kind of fault the individuals. But I would keep an eye on Whiffin from Trent Thunder. I've covered him before. I've seen him. I've cast him. I've been writing saying this season, and he's a good player. But let's take a look at the veto. We already spoke about this. Builds his narrative of how this one's going to play out, and well, Vertigo already out of the equation. You mentioned it was a decider last week. This time, it's not even given an opportunity to be there. Banned instantaneously by the likes of Trent Thunder Diamond. But I am interested to see what we're going to see as the pick from UWC Stags. Yeah, Ancient going to follow suit as well. So no wild cards coming out here. We said maybe if they want to bring out a wild card, Vertigo, Ancient wants to do it, but no, they don't want any of that, of course. But this first pick for me from Trent is going to be the big kind of question mark for me.
Ooh, Nuke starting season. We've seen that quite a few times this week. This tournament and the last few weeks. So Nuke is certainly something that quite a few of these teams aren't really separated from. They're not estranged from them. They can certainly play on it, and it should be a good game. Starting CT side are UWE, so I think it's, like we said, it's about them getting momentum, them getting started, and that's very, very important on the CT side of Nuke. If you lose a guy start off every round 4v4, it's not good. If you can't build the economy, it's not good. If you're trying to force every round, so that's going to be paramount for UWE to start off with that. But, well, Trent Thunder's pick, they're certainly confident with that. Hopefully we're getting to the second pick, and that's Mirage. You said that. You called it.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a very smart way for UWE to play this. They can rely heavily on their aimers, and they are an aim-heavy team. They, you know, whenever I've cast them before, I cast them, as I mentioned, against Portsmouth Paladins, they were very reliant on the individuals. They need players to step up. I think Crit in particular is one who, for me, was a consistent factor. Mr. Hoy as well. Magic had a bit of a quiet game. So it was Mr. Hoy and Crit were the big kind of factors who stepped up. And I think it's the same thing here. You know, you look over towards Mirage. It's what you expect from UWC Stags. They're going to heavily rely on the aim. But one thing I will mention is that for Trent, you know, of course, it's a good pick in towards Nuke. I think it's a map in which gives a lot of versatility, allows adaptability as well. Very, very util heavy. And one thing that does start to, for me, be a bit of a question mark is that for, you know, like for the factor of Crit, Mr. Hoy, and of course the likes of Magic, Nuke was one of their main picks when they were in their organization. So it's a map in which they themselves are very comfortable on. And if Trent don't come out firing all cylinders, this could be a quick 2-0. It's a risky one for me. Dust 2 will be banned out. An aim map dropped out. This leaves, of course, the likes of Inferno still in contention. I mentioned it would most likely be a very, very good possibility, but Overpass is a risk for me, for UWC Stags. When they played against Portsmouth, they were 10-0 down at one point.
That makes me think if they do pick into it, which they haven't,
it
would have been a change of attitude. But as you said, it's expected. That's what they called. And it is Inferno, which can go. I mean, if we go 3 maps, there's nothing better than a third map decider of Inferno. Absolute banger. So I'm hoping one way that we do get to that Trent can come out on their own map, or even, you know, pull the old switcheroo of Trent lose their own map pick, they take the one from UWE. Certainly possible, but that's a long way away. Either way, Inferno should be fun. Should we get to it? First off, we are with Nuke, and yeah, we've discussed that a bit. Hopefully we're getting into the server relatively soon. But as I said, starting CT side, UWE, they need to start off well. They need to get a strong half.
100%.
And but also in the same sort of caliber, Trent need to get. I think there's less pressure on them on the T side sort of thing. They just, you know, get like 4-5 rounds, you're kind of okay. Whereas on the CT, you know, you need to get a high number of rounds. So I think in that regard, despite obviously choosing the CT side, UWE have more pressure on them.
Exactly. I think for me, it's a very predictable map picks coming through here. UWC Stags, they've played this very calm and collected, and it shows they've adapted off the back of what was a lackluster performance against Portsmouth Paladins. It was a risky pick going in towards Overpass. This time they ban it out, and it's as expected, actually. It's very well played. I said I'd most likely see the Puggy style maps come out from UWC Stags, and 2 out of 3 come in conclusion. Dust 2 was a smart ban from Trent. They don't want to play in a 3 kind of for the 3 Puggy maps in that sense. Nuke is going to be the big risk here, though. That for me is where things become quite uncomfortable. I always think as well, when you are at a T side on Nuke, my golden number is 6 rounds. If you can pick up 6 rounds on your T side on Nuke, it gives you a lot of room to work with when you head on towards that second half. If you're unable to find 6, though, I think you're really going to struggle to find consistency and consecutive rounds on the board on CT side, no matter kind of how well you play it.
Yeah, it's certainly. That's one thing with Nuke. You can just have absolutely monster T sides. You can have monster T runs and just completely break up the CT side. So it's certainly a possibility. And considering Trent have picked into it, I'm assuming that they've practiced their T side a lot. They're well versed in it, and they can come out and just smash UWE, and they're more than happy to take this T side. So we're certainly going to be seeing that relatively soon, as we should be getting to the server, well, any second now. But yeah, T side, I'm looking for some. What are you looking for strat-wise? I'm looking for some vent rushes, some smoke walls outside, jumping down secret smoke walls, one guy there, and they all just disappear to ramp or A rush or something. I want to see a versatile, like, a range of strats, rather than just the basic things. But like anything to add to that?
Well, I mean, coming into the pistol round,
looking
of
for?
course, it'll be Trent Thunder on that T-side pistol round, right? And for them, it needs to be extremely aggressive from the get-go. It has to be. They need to set a sort of a statement to kickstart things here for them. And if they're unable to do so, I think for me, I always think, for the most part, every time you see successful pistol rounds come out, it comes off the back of nice aggression and then setting up the post bomb. That is the priority. Getting that bomb down first gives you a buy on the board here, but if D get off to a fantastic start as Whiffin falls immediately.
He said about Whiffin being good, and Magic, he said about him being good too. He will get 2 kills, and Crit will get 2 as well. Those 2 names so big in the pre-game, and straight off, they completely shut down that pistol. No nonsense there at all, and the round is over. Blink, you miss it. UWE just pick it up with ease. Not a sweat broken. I don't think they lost a single. Oh, sorry, they did lose 1 guy. That was Magic, but that is it. Yeah, so no stress.
It was brilliant done. Easy pickings. Trent tried to go aggressive, but it was sort of I mean, it was really undecisive. Is probably the perfect way to put it. They didn't give any sort of aggression towards it. Crit finding a lovely opener, bro, fall, and already UWE Sea Stags are making a statement here. They're dictating the tempo and completely cutting off these Trent Thunder Diamond players in transition.
Yeah, straight off, and that's the thing with this sort of level when you're going against guys who've played in ESCA Advanced, played in FPL. You've got to know what you're doing. If you just out in the open like that, you'll just get shot in the head straight off. Crit absolutely no nonsense, and I think shots are being fired at him by Monge, and he'll back off. But 4 guys waiting at the squeaky door, looking to push through, and it's a bloodbath. All of them just dead. Absolutely no nonsense from UWE. Only a bit of damage done to Crit, and that's it. Nothing else. Not a scratch on anyone else. They just don't care. To be fair, I'm saying that, and it was well handled from UWE, but Trent had basically nothing. They had 1 P215 Zeus, so, nothing invested. But here it comes. Here's the buy. This is where they need to start making some moves.
This is the big test, right? You see a full buy coming out from Trent and the Diamond, and essentially for UWE's Sea Stags, this is a bonus round, essentially. They were very untested when it came towards this previous round. I'm going to block the smoke though. Crit going to play back red, looking for an opportunity to work with. 4-0 he currently stands. A flashbang gives him the first and the second to follow suit as well. Doubles down brilliantly by Crit, and he will just slink away, or maybe not. He's going to go further aggressive. I'm loving this from Crit. Steven falls, and Trent, they're left with 2.
Yeah, 2 with, well, only made into 1. One of them has got a kill, and it is Bruh. He takes down Sinkski, pushing through that smoke, and a slightly questionable choice, but at this point, you've got confidence, you might as well take the fight, as he's looking to take the fight versus D, but he's dead already. And, well, 4 left alive. You said it's essentially a free round. It was a free round for UWE. 4 left alive. 4 AKs picked up. They're just laughing. They're more than happy. And I said that they do need a strong start on the CG side, and we said that how important it is to get the momentum, and straight off, they've got it. They've got so much money in the bank. Straight off, like, look at it already, and looking to get even more with a nice boost when Trent have absolutely nothing to bring to the party. Just a few deagles, and well, already they're just throwing themselves at Crit, who's got 2, looking for the 3rd, 9 kills, looking for his 10th already in 3 rounds, and he will back off. Not quite too keen to take it as of yet.
It's comfortable stuff. Flacco going for a peek here, but as Mr. Hoy comes out on top. Steven and Bro left all alone now. One will be found. A quick trade coming forward. 2 versus 4 to work with. Make that a 2 versus 3. The Deagle reigning supreme over to a single door. And already room to work with now for Trent. They've got a bit of space over towards his A site. And of course, it's double stacked here. But they found themselves a kill. A weapon collected could work nicely in their favour. And they've still got the bomb in hand, which is the priority.
This is all down to how UWE tried to counteract it with their rotations. You see Sinkski, Stanovsky, but obviously he's changed his name, going across to hell and now up to heaven. So that has allowed these 2 to just sneak through to ramp. They can go down to B completely unopposed. They can sneak all the way through and get a plant, which, considering they only had a few deagles and just, some armor, that's not bad at all. And I don't think they'll be taking the rounds, but, it gives them an extra boost with money. And as I say that, they're actually thinking of going through to heaven. And this could be brilliant, or it could be absolutely tragic, because they do push through, and Sinkski will kill both of them from above. He's already watching it. He's expected it perfectly. What could have been slightly better rounds, it does kind of slip away from Trent.
Yeah, it probably should have been a little bit more expensive, I hope, especially after the double D coming through. It looked like it was actually had a bit of room to work with, but unfortunately not the case. And that is the thing, you know, significantly more firepower from the Sea Stags, and they clean up comfortably when it matters most. The full buys come through, and this time, Trent are going for a really sort of uncharacteristic double orb setup on T side.
Yeah, double orb. What? Who does that on T side of Nuke? I don't think I've ever seen that. It's certainly going to be odd, but, well, we'll have to see if it does work out. Zako just looking away at the wrong timing, and Sinkski will punish him for it. That is just unfortunate. As Whiffin, he's already been tagged down to 21 HP, but it's the AWP, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. They are clearing outside. Util isn't really there for the T side. There's two guys with a little bit, and that's it. Steven with just one flash, the two AWPers with nothing. So they're going to have to get the frags and just find them, and UWE, they can use the Util to punish it. We saw it earlier. We saw it in the other round, what, 2 rounds ago? When Crit just had a team flash coming out, he swung out and got an easy kill. And, well, they can do the exact same thing, but without Util, just with a double play instead. Mr. Hui pushing through, and the distraction is all he needs. Crit will get a 3k, 12 kills, he's yet to die.
Yeah, 211 ADR as well. That is just ridiculous start from Crit. And it goes back to exactly what we said in the pregame. We're looking at individuals here to step up, and already we're seeing the top performers consistently find their footing. Crit, brilliant stuff from him, 12-0. And we said he's done it at UKPL level, and he's proving it here once again when it comes to university level. Brilliant from Crit so far. Unstoppable, in fact. Looking to find his 13th, and he will do. Holding down outside single-handedly and making it look so easy. Finds the first, damage on towards the second, and looking to find even more damage in his favour, and of course he will. Crit and Stanovski go one apiece, and finally Crit will fall. Steven left all alone now to 1 versus 4.
And he can't even get one more shot off. D will just wide swing on that and take him down. As you say, Crit's first death. D's yet to die. He's going 7-0, the reverse James Bond, which is lovely to see. And, I mean, Trent, they've got to come up with some sort of a solution. Maybe a timeout, because at this point, it doesn't look like UWE are stopping. They've got so much money, and they're not being shut down at all. You've just got Crit just going on a rampage there. 3 kills. You've got, well, D obviously clearing up for the rest of them, and you need to be able to have a solution. You've got to shut them down. You've got to do something about it. And at this point in time, they're just looking lost. And, I mean, they've got to try and make a play here, right? If they don't, then I'm slightly worried. And they're going to have to be... They're going to call time out, right?
Yeah, at this point, you'd actually bet that maybe that's the smart way to play it. Things are not looking good for them at all. What? We're saying that? Yeah. I said Nuke, though, you know. When they were under the Xenix name... Crit, Magic, they were all very comfortable on Nuke. It was one of their most picked maps. Well, it's a good start. Whiffin finds the opener. I mentioned his name as one to keep an eye on, but he gets picked off by Magic at range. AWP versus AWP, and his Magic comes out on top. And Mondre at least found himself one.
Yeah, they've actually got an advantage now. 4v3, looking to push in, but it could be to turn around with an instant. He's just sitting here by the door. He hears the glass ghost waiting in the corner, waiting for a push. Lots of footsteps made. Monge will be going around, clumping like an elephant. He doesn't see the gun barrel until he does, and he can pre-fire this and get the kill. That'll secure B, and now D is looking to try and get into it, but he can't. Bro will take him down. Magic left in a 1v4 with just the AWP, and he is going to be saving it. He's not fancying his chances. Relatively quiet so far this game, 3 for 3, but
yeah.
Well, now he's well, not this round he'll have to perform, but considering everyone else is dead, he's going to have to start putting in some good numbers, because Trent have actually got on the board.
Yeah, I think for Magic, it's not even that he's really done anything in particularly bad. He's just playing that anchor position, which you have to consistently rotate in, and because of that, he gets caught off in transition. So it's not that he's playing bad. I think he's just in a tough position to play where you're consistently rotating around. Jiggle Pete, though, will catch him out. Flashbang to come through to try and stay alive. I think time is of the essence. He is slightly being hunted here by the likes of Steven, but he doesn't have enough time to work with. So keeping that AWP alive is the best thing. But when it comes down to it, really, their long-term economy is more than fruitful to allow them to buy into next. 6-1 on the scoreline. And finally, we see Trent get off the board.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, they don't have a lot of money on the Trent squad. So if Steven did die, it wouldn't have been absolutely awful. But, I mean, you've got to be starting to build your own economy before you start shutting down UWEs, right? Yeah. So, it's kind of good that he didn't die or didn't push any further. And I think it was last week, we actually saw 2 guys pushing in CT and they got clatted. So, it's not great when that happens. But either way, Trent, they do lose a man. That is Whiffen going down, but all the rest of the 4 are looking to push all the way down and around to B. All of them waiting here. Sinksky sitting in the corner waiting for the door to open. He's going to be the first challenge for Trent to shut down. And he's waiting for any sort of a sign of anyone. He will spawn out and do damage to only one guy, or a bit to Monge as well, but no kills. And Magic missing an AUE shot. Brush just shutting them down. Kills do come back in the favour of UWE though, and Monge is left by himself. He does damage, but again, no kills. D just looking quite sharp.
Yeah, it's very, very nice play actually there from D. Just kind of comfortably isolating those fights, and off the back of it, well, cleaning up, 7-1. Back to a 6-round lead. And for Trent, it's back to the drawing board. Not a comfortable position to be in. Of course, the positive signs, they will be able to pick up a buy, but this could be their last buy for a while. Lose this round, no bomb plant come in, and their economy more or less shattered, essentially. Bruh, aggression towards our side, trying to shut down crits, and we've seen crit time and time again completely dictate outside control. So understandable why they're expending a lot of utility over there.
Yeah, it makes sense. I was actually reading something the other day about how, in early CS, VP would just spend half the util and half the round time to find Get Right just so they could kill him, or just find out where he's playing so they can, either avoid it or go all in and kill him. And at this point, maybe that's what they're doing for crit. Don't want to compare him to quite those heights, but, well, I've been talking on like that. In the meantime, Trent have been getting quite a few kills, taking down D and Mr. Hoy. Sinksky will get one back over at ramp. He will maintain control of the position, which is a very important position on the map, and that will actually make Trent just completely give up on that. They'll relieve the pressure off it and look to push straight into A instead. A few nades trade, and Zacko looking to be the entry, as Magic is watching in the moment that they're thinking of pushing in. He does come off the angle. Smoke coming into main, quickly to swing out, hits the instant headshot first time. Whipping, trying to shut him down. He can't. Zacko will get the trade though. Magic trading him back, getting caught out. Bruh left in a 1v1. Sinksky coming up from heaven, sneaking all the way up the ladder. Plant committed, and that's the incorrect choice to make. Sinksky will shut him down, shooting him right in the butt. And that will be 8 rounds for the UWE Sea Stags. And they're going to be happy with that, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, they're already on the half, right? It's already a good start. I mean, I still stick by what I said of when you're on T side, it's the golden number of 6 for me. That's the round you need on T side to make this a good half. But it's still definitely possible, but it's unlikely for Trent to find this now. The bomb plant does allow them that secure buy once again, and that was the priority. And it's the same thing again. They need a bomb plant here, but here, of course, we see crit towards our side. Jiggle peeking, spotting 2, just going to fall away. Utility to try and keep him alive for the time being, and he himself just wants to try and fall away to somewhat security.
And, well, he'll certainly fall away to more greener pastures. And that A site looking quite defensible and quite impenetrable at this point in time. As a rotation from Crit does come around looking to secret. Bruh's actually watching for it. So if he's got the timing and he's read it well, he should be able to shut down Crit instantly. But again, entirely on timing, and unfortunately for Whiffen and Bruh, Whiffen had his head entirely exposed and Bruh just lost the fight. Crit just not stopping. Monge has somehow snuck out onto A through the smoke, but D is watching for him, so is Mr. Hoy. The trade will come through. Zacko trying his hardest to get into the site and get around, but he's not catching a break. Stephen by himself now, 1v4. Any damage he does is great, but he can't get a single kill. A double peek coming out. UWE just looking untouchable.
9-1, unstoppable, and now, of course, the Trent side needs to be flawless if they want to close this one out in a comfortable fashion with the 6 rounds, but I don't think that's really going to happen, to be perfectly honest. Their economy not looking good, the momentum looking dire, and all they're going to be able to bring into round number 11 is Tech 9s. A bit of armor, small amount of utility, and it's just trying to stick around that 2k mark.
Rushing straight through the smoke. After, mollying the smoke. Smoking the molly, sorry, as Magic will get 2 kills, and he'll get punished for being a bit too curious. He'll take him down, take his AWP, and look actually to wrap onto the A-bomb site. This may be a perfect play. D hasn't spotted out in half. Bruh's looking to challenge him and jump straight into his arms, but no kills coming through. Eventually, Mr. Hoy will find him, trade with the AWP, and now he's watching the hut position. Plant can come in, so that's a nice benefit. 2v3 though, it should be a simple retake for the Sea Stags. I say it should be, but Whiffen with the AWP, he's been good. Now is his time to go big, playing quite aggressively around the corner and looking to try and get an early pick. Monge has snuck his way into Hut, playing quite strongly from there, and now it is just down to him, and he can't get anything done at all. Sinksy hitting both, and UWE getting 10 rounds. Simple enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very clean there. And of course, you look over towards, again, how the Sea Stags made that retake work. A cheeky double swing. When you're playing against an AWP, which they knew, of course, they were, because they saw it get picked up, you have to double swing it. You can't give the opportunity for a trade to come in, or you can't give this sort of the 1v1s, because an AWP will come out supreme in that situation. And that's what they do. They double swing in, and just like that, Whiffin was a deer in headlights, couldn't pick his targets, and that Sea Stags finding double digits already. What a stunning performance we're seeing from them. And Trent, I said they had a bit of an unknown factor about them, but so far, not so good. Magic opening up the scoring, finds an opener onto Steven, and crit again. Just a nuisance towards outside. Barrel falling already. Things are falling apart if you're Trent Thunder Diamonds. They're left with 3.
20 kills and crit. Mr. Ho will go down with a frag from Whiffin. He's looking for more. Double up again brought out, and Whiffin will actually make use of it. He gets a second taking down crit. A bit too aggressive in that fight, and it does get put into a 3-on-3. It's really odd, though, from Brett to not check red, considering Crit's been playing there almost every single round.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure why he neglected that angle, but obviously he's punished for it. Luckily, Whiffin, he's been trying his hardest to carry them back, looking to push straight back into the A bomb site. Whiffin down low, but again with the AWP, looking to try and find a pick. This could actually be a bit of a factor outside as Magic, he's checking each angle, but he could be vulnerable. And this is entirely on timing. His back is to the window, and Monge, he's got a free kill, shoots him directly in the head. And that'll make it a bit more pressured for the Sea Stags.
Nice shot. Deal 4, Monge. Makes this a 1 versus 3, and this looked like it should have been an 11th in favour of Sea Stags, but they've turned it around. They've isolated the fight sprintly, and Whiffin and Monge going 2 apiece. There's less Sinsky or Sanoski in a 1 versus 3 situation, which looks very, very tough to make work. Bomb planted, post plant set up, and not a lot of information or room to work with. You think maybe, even though his economy is good, as I say, whether the save call will be made just off the back of it being an impossible round. Zacho cleans up, though, and that's Trent finding their second.
They've got a chance to get back into this half. You know, 7-5 isn't bad for the T side of Nuke.
Yeah.
So they do have a chance, but that's entirely dependent on this follow-up. And at this point in the game, you know, there's 3 rounds, or 3 rounds left in the half. So money isn't too much of an issue for Sea Stags. They've actually got low finally, so they could win play if they lose this, but with Magic hitting shots like that, that's not too likely. He completely kicks Monge out of the server, and he gets that man advantage for the Sea Stags already. And he can fall back. He can't be punished. That's the sort of, well, it's a sort of frag that just can't be traded, and Trent, well, they've got no answer for it at the moment.
Yeah, so far, so good. Man advantage once again collected, but of course we've seen Trent turn things around from a man disadvantaged situation, so we're not going to count them out just yet. They made their way back over towards outside, repositioning. Of course, they've got utility to work with, so the wall of smokes can be set up.
Yeah, that should be into play soon, and that's actually something we've not seen too much of, right? I think we've seen it a few times, getting down to secret, but I said that I wanted to see, you know, some wacky strats. I wanted to see a variety. And all we've sort of seen so far is just being picked apart individually, taking the fights 1v1 and losing them. And now we do see the smoke wall. Obviously, we've seen it before, but again, put into use. But it's, again, just 4 guys going down to secret, looking to wrap on this B bomb site. And it sort of worked last time. They got into the site, and the gun barrel fell out of Sinsky. He will go down. And that's actually now a 4-on-4. Smoke's there, looking to try and secure this site and keep it from getting penetrated by the AWP. And with mollies and nades going in too, that could be actually a nice start for Trent as UWE are just waiting. Magic starting to burn alive, and the molly has to push through and somehow gets a kill. Steven will kill him with that molly in the end, but the damage has been done with nades going in as well. D can just swing in and finish off the already low Zacho. Steven will get one as well, but the trade's just too good for UWE, and now Whiffin is left in a 1v2, and he hits the first, looking for the second. It's Crit, the man who's been so good so far, looking to try and clutch it. He's got a kick, and he's sticking it, and he will zoom in, but he's just sticking the defuse, and eventually Whiffin will swing out, and he hits the shot! What?
Wow. Fair play. I mean, Crit had to stick that. That was the thing, and I think Whiffin understood that. Jiggle Beaker then got the information. The repeat was brilliant. Crit had half a second to work with, but it just wasn't on his side. Trent find the third, and fortunately for them, it's a consecutive round which they desperately needed. Now, a 10-5 half is not the end of the world. You look over towards Sea Stags. That economy long term is not looking good as we head into the penultimate round. See MP9 being picked up by the likes of Mr. Hoy, and things become uncomfortable. If Sea Stags lose this, Trent could find 5 just off the back of Sea Stags having no buy-ins that final round.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the best by any means. And, well, this one isn't the best by any means either. Mr. Hoy, with only an MP9, it can be used, though. In this angle, slightly elevated up and slightly off, it can certainly just shut down any teams they push through, right? It's such a high fire rate, well, the gun has such a high fire rate. It can shoot so many bullets. They just walk in, they just get triple dinked, and they're dead straight away. Multi-kills, not the best, but it's still, you know, this sort of weapon, like, from this position, the MP9, the Mag 7, they're actually relatively viable. 5.7 as well. So, it'll be interesting to see how that comes into, if it comes into use, as Whiffin is looking to try and find an opening. And I think the CSGO have actually learnt their lesson now, not to just straight up peek the AWPer. And Trent, I say learn their lesson, they've realised that the outside wall of smokes is working and that the B hit is working. So they're looking to go for the same thing again. Monge is looking to clear out angles. Crit is trying to stop him, and he'll actually stop Whiffin. Giant gap in the smoke there. He'll get an easy and free headshot as he looks to push straight into B. And this time, Mr. Hoy's here, and he'll get 2. Picks up the AK, can dip away, but actually decides to stick around. As they look to push him once again, Zacko leading the charge. 2 guys left, and Mr. Hoy will shut them both down. Gets a 4K, all headshots. That is just clean.
Do you know what? I'm not going to question the MP9 anymore. Fantastic stuff from Mr. Hoy there. In towards Secret makes it look very, very comfortable. And to have a quad kill to seal it out sort of sums up the performance from Trent so far. No trades coming through. Bit of a lackluster, well, not a bit of a lackluster, very lackluster half from them. 3 rounds on T side is, no, it's not good enough as they head into the 15th and final. And C-Stag's find 11 already, and what could be furthermore. Whiffin does 21, Molotov chips him away, but of course, AWP in hand, he's abiding by Bogdan's law by keeping hold of it. Not the end of the world. C-Stags, all they have to do is just play things slow.
I love Bogdan's law, it's great. It's the best principle in CS, it's fantastic. And yeah, he does keep hold of that up, obviously, and he's been doing pretty well with it. He is, I believe, the top fragger, and got 8 kills on the Trent side. Not too far away from the rest of them. You know, no one's really fragging terribly or just, you know, not at all or phenomenally on that side. But he is obviously the top and looking to try and make an impact. He's now outside watching the angle that he previously died to crit by. But it's not going to work as he's not there. Instead, a push will come through. A team kill coming out, and Magic with only a double. I say only a double, he's done his job. And that is a man advantage for UWE. Whiffin now sneaking around outside, looking to try and get a pick. And D's already watching him. Dead in main, leaving Bruh in a 1v3, and he'll hear noises, which are footsteps made by D. But unfortunately for him, D's just a little bit quicker, hits the headshot, and he'll get 13 kills, and he'll get 12 rounds for UWE C-Stags on that CT side.
Well, 3.5 is just, well, it's a statement, to be perfectly honest. And of course, on their opponent's map pick, for UWE to be on such a dominant run of form, you'd expect them to carry it on in towards their T side. And a pistol round to get things started will more or less seal map number 1 in the C-Stag's favour. I mean, they're 4 rounds away from the all-elusive 16. They're so close to closing out map number 1. And when they head onto Mirage, if we're speaking about just relying on aim, you think things would fall into their hands so far. Pistol round. Very, very slow here from the C-Stags. They've got a bit of control, but it's crit. Of course it's crit. Kickstart things. Whiffin, bro. They got 1 apiece. Whiffin looking double down. Not able to do so. Jacko from above finds 1. Look at the second. He's given the opportunity to do so. Somehow, he was staying alive for all that time. And with 2 remaining alive, it's Trent who found a 4th.
That can't happen. That shouldn't have happened at all. That should have been the C-Stags round, but apparently, they just can't kill a guy falling on their heads, and he somehow gets that extra kill. And that's essentially, that distraction allows the rotators, it gives them time to rotate in and, you know, help clean up in the end rather than letting the T's sort of get set up. So now, Trent actually have a bit of a chance here. That pistol round was essentially a must-win, so getting that 4th round, so they've got a nice buy here. 3 MP9s, 2 M4s, and looking to get as many kills as possible. Zacko finds the first. D just getting shut down with only a Glock. 3 deals, so it's not something that Trent can just be careless with, right? They've got to be, well, very careful. Magic will just do that, takes off the head. That's what happens when you're a bit too frivolous with your bullets. You get taken down by Magic. Sinksky looking for a kill here. Steven will push him back. The MP9 just not the best weapon to try and face when you don't have any armor. But 4-on-4, the C-Stags can actually try and get into this, and there's 2 of them actually snuck down to Secret, so they've got a chance here.
They have a bit of room to work with. It's, as you mentioned, a 4 versus 4. But the Triple D Eagles are still definitely a threat. You know, Mr. Hoyer towards our side. They're relocating over towards main. Now, once they have this control, things become very dicey for Trent, because they could be pincered here. Like this, exactly that. Mr. Hoy finds 1, looks for the second as well, but the M4A1S at range has significantly better willingness to find a kill, and that's exactly what we find. Whiffin, one to his name, leaves it with 2 remaining for the UWE Sea Stags, and they themselves are 2 versus 3. 30 seconds to work with. I think it's too little too late.
No, 25 seconds. If Steven doesn't wide swing for this, he gets taken down by Crit, and he almost is. But eventually the kill comes from Magic, as he can run all the way down to B, and actually can be stopped. The other player here, Whiffin, has arrived with his M4, and as soon as this bomb goes down, he can swing out and get that kill. Easy peasy, and, well, perhaps not so easy. They lose 3 guys to just a few pistols without armor. So, not the best round for Trent, but they do get the win, and that's what counts. And even if you lose or win the round but with only 2 guys alive, if you just win the round and you're barely alive, as long as you're winning these rounds, that's what counts.
Yeah. Top 5, much better start from Trent coming in towards this second half. Their CT side, you expect it to be better, and so far it is. But of course, here's the big test. The AK's coming out for the UWE Sea Stags, and we're at 3.1 KD. It's Crit leading the charge towards our side.
Smoke wall down again, and I think that's, well, UWE is saying, you know what, you do that. You just throw down the wall and run through secret. We'll do that too. And that's exactly what they have done, except there's a bit of a difference here, is they're not only 1 man down, and they've got 1 man being very, very late, and that is Magic, and he is all depending on timing, whether he wants to get a kill or not, and he cannot. Bro shooting from behind, 3 guys sitting here waiting, D waiting in the lobby as well. And UWE, they're just taking their time. 60 will get 1 kill as well, waiting for the flank, but there's actually another player here. Whiffin can come down, and he may not be expected. This is entirely different. It's D with the lurk, it's perfect. He'll take on Zako. Dinsky waiting too. Crit finds Monge, it's just Steven left by himself. He's full HP, he's got an M4 and armor, but, well, his time is running out. D tries to face him and will get shut down. No util either, but he does have a kit, so is he going to try for this? Is it on? Possibly. Finds Mr. Hoy, looking to try and find Mr. Sinksky and Crit. Crit quite low, so he's got a chance to get a multi-frag here, but both of them are set up in the exact same position to try and get this trade. And he has absolutely no idea. They can peek up from the glass, and they will. The window, the perfect position to get the kill. And that is the 13th round being found. Nice counterplay from UWE, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of comfortable there. You know, from UWE, when they got flanked coming through, it was nice that they didn't overcommit towards the site. At times, you see, you know, 3 guys go and commit to the site to make sure the bomb goes down, but they knew they didn't need to do that. You saw D cutting off the rotation, Sinksky holding for that flank coming through. They left 2 guys get that bomb down, which they knew they could do. And once that was sort of set up, the post bomb was so aggressive that they never gave an opportunity for Trent to find any sort of security. That's precisely what happens. Now, of course, Trent back to the drawing board in terms of their economy being pretty tough. Just a couple of upgraded pistols and a small amount of utility to work with alongside that armor. It's not great, but it's not the end of the world. And bro does kickstart things nicely.
This is a force as well. You say it's just a few upgraded pistols. This isn't just a light buy. This is a force from them. Yeah. So obviously they do need to get frags. Bro with a nice headshot onto Crit outside shuts him down straight away. And the smoke will eventually come in. But it is a bit of a fake, as I think Bro will actually realise he's just sitting in the smoke. He's just waiting. And he will be tested. D is looking to try and find an opening. And Monge in the corner will actually somehow get 1 kill. But D's looking to get 2, and he will. Upgrades to the AK2. Spots out Bro and just spray him perfectly. And nice and tight. 3-on-1, Steven left with just a Deagle trying to clutch it and keep Trent's hopes alive. And the plant is vulnerable, but he can't land the shots. He'll just get shot straight away by Sinksy coming off the plant. And that's a bit awkward, but yeah. Well, it's even more awkward now. They've got no money, and they're on the verge of losing to UWE taking the map point.
That's tough. It is really tough. 14-5, and as you mentioned, that was that full investment. They've gone for exactly the same once again. If Trent are unable to find this round, or at least make it very expensive, that their economy is not going to allow them to have any sort of comfortable buy-in towards what could be, and what probably should be, the final round of map number 1 already. Aggression going through, but it's Bro kickstarts things brilliantly. D will fall, and the Deagle shot reigns supreme. As I'm on advantage collected by the CT side. It could be double down, and yes, it is. Bro on fire.
He kills these Deagles, and he tries to get the 3rd, but that's a bit too much to ask. Only damage done to Crit, and he'll remain alive. Certainly that's, well, that's Bro putting in his shift, and that may just be enough, as Whiffin will help out too. Takes down Crit, puts UWE into a bit of an awkward position. Sinksky and Magic trying to make plays by themselves, and Magic certainly has. He's pushed all the way through ramp, made his way all the way to heaven, and they could go for a bit of an A push and A flank here. And if he's careful, he can just execute both of them, and he does.
That's
Crisp
so clean.
precision. It genuinely is fantastic. That's not a Nico there. That's a beautiful AK play.
Hang on. Whiffing at range. Finds one. Magical fall. Does leave it all onto one man, but since he's heard the information, he's running towards lobby. He's actually aggressively looking for the information. It's quite a smart way to play it. He knows he has to all he has to do is essentially cut off the transition, but they know exactly where he's posted up. Lobby is the last place he possibly could be, and of course, Hot being the only vulnerable position means that it's maybe just a matter of time. Whiffing on the flank. I don't think Sinksi's read into this. I think it's just a matter of time. Bomb to be tapped. It's on from behind, but it's whiffing. He finds the shot. Trent come out on top, and all it took was a double D to kickstart things from the hands of Bruh. And Trent Thunder find a 6th on the board. They live to see another day, just about, and they got ever so close there. It was down to the wire, but the defuse comes in. 6 rounds collected, and a lifeline extended over towards Trent Thunder Diamond.
That was so close. That was so close. I didn't realize it was going to be that close. And I mean, it was good that Trent took their time with it, right? But also, that was too close for comfort. Point is, they won the round, though, especially off the back of Deagles. 3 Deagle kills coming out, and obviously the double Deagle from Bruh. Shouting out to him, just looking solid. Not a bad way to come back into. It's like an odd way for the clutch to be played by Sinkski, as you know, he didn't expect the guy just to come through lobby. But well, round's over. They're gonna reset, refresh, and come straight back into it as they charge straight into A. One's able to not get any at all. D just gets a double opening, down low to 5 HP, but he's done his job. Brett will get 1 back, but that is it. Whiffin and Steven left to try and clutch, and Steven is trying to make his mark. Whiffin waiting in main as well. They've got a flank coming in, trying to just pincer this A bomb site. But they've got to hit their shots with another smoke coming down. It's just Steven left by himself, trying to get into the A site, and he'll find one, but nothing more. Whiffin just waiting in main, questioning what does he do. And he will actually push through. He's trying for this, and he will check the vent. He spits out, spots out, Sink skinned. Well, chews him up, spits him out. He's dead. Mr. Hoy left. Try and stop this diffuse coming in, and Whiffin, he'll fake it, waiting for the footsteps, and he'll hear Mr. Hoy making so much noise. He pushes for the kill, but he can't quite come out on top. The low HP already will punish him, and that will be UWE getting to 15 rounds, 1 away from taking Trent's map pick.
Yeah, that was smart as well from Mr. Hoy, because he knew giving away that sound cue meant that essentially Whiffin couldn't stick the defuse. It was too much of a risk to do so. So it forces that rotation to come in, and because it's a left eye peak, it's always going to favour Mr. Hoy in that situation. All he had to do was hold that angle, wait for the opportunity, and he finds it. And of course, heading into what could be the final round, 15 on the board, Trent have nothing left in terms of their buy. Mr. Hoy finding 1, and the Deagle going to fall 2. A-site compromise, and this could be it, and
Really good. It's really good. Straight off, quick plays. Whiffin finding a Deagle kill to try and get back into it, but Crit will finish him off. Steven and Bruh, the last hopes for Trent to try and take their map pick. Spray just straight through the smoke. Mr. Hoy finding 1. Steven's dead. Bruh now trying to clutch, and he does find the first, but they're just swinging and taking him down. D will finish him off, and that will be that. What a map. 16-6. UWE just coming flying straight into it. A solid CT side, a decent T side as well to just get enough. And taking away Trent's map pick. This could be, as we said, it could be a 2-0, and it looks like it may be.
And this is what I could say. When it comes down to the veto, I think to a degree it shows that Trent didn't do the research enough, because you look at the likes of, I think Crit and Magic and Mr. Hoy are prime examples, but Nuke was their most popular pick in the last 2 seasons of PL. So it shows you they haven't really understood their opposition too well, because you're picking into arguably their most played map in the last 2 seasons. So for me, it's a bit of a question mark, and they've paid the price for it, really. They're very, very comfortable. They've proved it against top tier opposition, and Trent just could not come up to that scratch. They couldn't even put a dent in that armor. It was brilliantly done. And now we're into Mirage. If we're looking at individual stepping up, mechanical prowess, CSGO have proved that when it comes to just raw aim talent, they're a step above. And you're going on to arguably the most puggy map of all, where executes utility make absolutely 0 difference, because everybody knows them and everybody knows how to counter them. I think this could be a quick 2-0, unless Trent come out with a completely different Mirage showing.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be very much down to trying to come out on top of the aim duels. You had people like Crit, you had Magic just popping off all of the guys, essentially, on the C-Stags. So if they come back into this map like that, again, it may be just a very quick map. Considering they picked into it, they've got to be more than happy to take the fights on it. And, we're going to be seeing how that goes relatively soon. First, we'll be going to a break, and first we will have to shout out our sponsors. who are SteelSeries, bringing you award-winning gaming gear with a Prime student discount, and Intel, bringing you this fantastic broadcast and, well, these fantastic games. Anyway, we'll be back soon, so make sure you stick around.
We left this town with the speakers loud and the radio, playing old Sublime that we stole online, every verse we know. And we hadn't had a clue if we'd make it by noon or even where we'd go. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere. The tank said E and we all agree that we're just too broke to fill it back up, so we left your truck on the road with Rome. Then we found a motel with a cigarette smell, so we knew we're close. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. We don't need a map, everywhere is home. Is where I can find some peace of mind and make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. 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 We played Tupac Sharak and we turn our music up when he raps about hope. We hold our thumbs high and hope someone is kind enough to give us all a ride. And we wouldn't have a clue if we'd make it by two or even where we'd go. But we don't need a map, everywhere is home. A Ford stopped on the street, said where you trying to be. We said we don't really care, we'll know it when we're there. We took on down the road, he flipped on his radio. Santeria started slow, so we knew that we were close. Home is where I can find some peace of mind and make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road. 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 Home is where I can find some peace of mind and make my own way. I don't know where I will end up, but I'll find it someday. Keep on searching, engine burning while we're turning it around. But don't get left behind on the road.
At SteelSeries, we make the headsets, mice, and keyboards that the world's best gamers win the most with. And we've been doing it since way back.
Due to continued innovation and product development with leading professional gamers around the world, SteelSeries is the #1 brand for professional gaming gear.
Congratulations, who wins it? The Na'Vi to take the grand final 3-1.
A lot's changed since then, but one thing always stays the same: winning. Every pro that picks up a SteelSeries product pushes its limits. That's what makes us push ours. It's up to you how far you go, but whatever you do, go for glory.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this best of 3 series tonight. UWE Sea Stags versus Trent Thunder. It's looking to be perhaps a quick 2-0 unless Trent Thunder can turn it around and bring in a bit of a reverse sweep, take it to the decider map, which is Inferno. That would be a crack if we do get there. Yeah. But unfortunately, well, for them at least, UWE have taken their first map pick, or taken the first map, which was Trent's map pick, and now we're going to UWE's home territory of Mirage, and I'm at Pulio. I'm once again joined by Neokai. Hello there.
Hey, I mean, so far, dominant stuff. 16-6 is a statement to be said, right? I mean, it goes back to what we were saying about Trent. On their T side of Nuke, it just wasn't good enough. They were unable to find really anything. Only 3 rounds, for me, is a really lackluster showing. And now we're, of course, heading towards UWE Sea Stags, their pick of Mirage. And I said at the pre-game, before we even saw the veto, that, you know, coming into this, if we're going to see anything come out of in terms of what their map veto is going to be, it would most likely be Puggy-style maps because they're very reliant on the individual stepping up. And if we're going to mention individuals, Crit has to come to the forefront of your mind. A dominant performance from him and Nuke. And if he keeps up that sort of form heading in towards Mirage, I think this should be a pretty comfortable 2-0 clean up for Sea Stags. Moving then, of course, then into their finals.
Yeah, it's the upper bracket. It's quite nice to be in. You know, you win this, you go through more than happy. I believe you get a map advantage as well, so they'll be more than comfortable just to take this entire tournament. In the lower brackets, it's not the best to be, right? You're playing against another best of 3 against the winner of Swansea Storm and the Tacos versus Portsmouth Paladins, and which are currently being played. So you're going to be playing against, again, another really good team to try and get back into the finals, be a map down. So you don't want to be in that position if you are, Trent Thunder. So they're going to be trying their hardest to take Mirage versus UWE Sea Stags. And I think this is going to be about them coming alive, right? We said that this is you said specifically that this is an aim app, an aim map. There we go. Aim orientated map. Everyone knows the smokes, everyone knows the counter smokes. It's simple enough, and they need to come alive. They didn't look alive on Nuke. We had glimpses of it. We had Bruh occasionally just getting 1Ds. We had Whiffy having some nice AWP shots, but we need to see more of that. We need to see them actually fighting against UWE.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing as well, especially when you're coming against, let's say, for example, we look over to the Sea Stags. They're on a mechanical level, their aim is just better. Like, it's not a sort of a bad thing to say, but it does, just because they're the mechanical prowess is a step above that of Trent, it doesn't mean that this is an unwinnable fight. What you've got to do is you've got to counter that with stuff like crossfires, team synergy, stepping through, really dominating when it comes to the team factor to shut down individuals. Don't give them the opportunity to take on 1v1 duels. It's always got to be a sort of a lineup where you kind of are always taking that man advantage, and that's where Trent needs to come into Mirage. But it's easier said than done. Like I said, the utility is very standard. The executes are, everyone really knows all of them. It's very rare that you see anything new on Mirage. It's arguably the most played map when you go into any sort of third party, or even your right? It's probably one of the most played maps going. So in that sense, for Trent, they need to come out with something just a little bit different. They can't go back to relying on the individuals, a bit like they did on Nuke, where, as you mentioned, Bruh finding a double dig was great. It was a good catalyst for a round in their favour, but it was one of very few rounds. Coming into this, they need to get started from the get-go. A pistol round off their belt would kickstart a bit of momentum, and then, of course, off the back of that, give them some room to work with. And, of course, the good factor is they're starting on CT side, so arguably the easier side to start on.
Yeah, it certainly is. Certainly the easiest side to start on for Mirage, but we'll have to see how easy it is for the Trent Thunder Diamond squad, because they are up against arguably the best team in the tournament, who are hoping to demonstrate that in a 2-0 victory. As you get into the second map, it is Mirage. And UWE, they look to start it off with a bang. 2 down an underpass. Wiccan looking for it, but he's shot straight out of the sky. Magic taking his head off. Looking to come in with a bit of an A flank. 2 through connector, 2 through ramp, and actually 3 through connector, pardon me. As they do get into the site, they can at least get the plant. And Trent will be forced somewhat to back off, but Bruh's not wanting to. He's taking the fight, killing 3 of them, looking for the 4th. D will take down one of his teammates. But they've actually got a plant here, and his pistol round, especially if he's hitting shots like that, gets the 4K. Eventually shut down as D's just tapping away. Smoke will go down, and the fake on the plant will bait D out as they're taking the fight. It's very awkward, but somehow Steven comes out on top.
Somehow as well. I probably shouldn't have been given that room to work with, and I think ever since he did a fantastic job to find 3, but he sort of fumbled it when it mattered most. When it came down to that 1 versus 1, he just couldn't connect his shots. That's the first round collected. I said, you know, for Trent, if they want to come into Mirage, get off to a good start, it's all off the back of a strong pistol round in their favour. And that's exactly what we found for them. The positive sign, though, for the Sea Stags is a bomb planted does mean somewhat of a full buy to come through. So this is the battle of the force buys. Kickstart Mirage here, and a missed shot with the AWP nearly cost Swift his life.
An AWP in the second round, that's certainly a ballsy play to come out with, but nevertheless they do commit to it. Bruh has an M4 without armor, which is a very odd choice, and he could get punished very quickly by the Galils and the rifles taking him down with aim punch. And we'll have to see if he does have a bit of involvement. As certainly it looks like he will at the moment. He's sitting right next to the smoke, waiting at connector. 3 men currently on A. Flash going through, and he's actually pushing off the back of it. And Magic, completely blinded, will go down, and he'll actually be able to escape. So a kill in favour of Trent, and well, that's a nice start.
Very nice start. Of course, so far, we haven't really seen Crit start to pick off. We mentioned of him as an individual who can step up. He's a prime example, but only a deagle in hand for him here. And a man advantage already collected for the CT side. Things are looking very good. This bomb needs to go down.
Yeah, it does need to go down. As time is running away, 45 seconds left. They're looking to push into the site. D will find 1 kill, but nothing more than that. Zacko takes him down, gets a double, eventually taken down by Mr. Hoy, but what? He somehow wins that peak versus Whiffin. Just sliding out, instant headshot with a Gallo. Certainly been practicing with that, and that will get them the actual bomb site. Now he can plant and crit. He will get 1 kill back in return, but traded back. 1v1, bomb is down. He's looking to hold on to it. It would be a 3k for Mr. Hoy, and Steven, he needs another 1v1 clutch. He will take its time. Looks to go through to connector, and he's got to find him here. He's got to be trying to flush him out, and I think he's just calling for the save. Is he?
I think it's a smart way to play it. Well, I mean, it looked like he was playing things slow, but of course, Mr. Hoy in this position, it's all a matter of time. Can a sound cue, so it's off it. Mr. Hoy overextends there. That's a poor play from him. All he had to do, he spotted him not on the bomb, so all he had to do was just go back into cover. He had to force him into a fight there. And Steven, again, when it comes down to the 1 versus 1, 2 clutches out of 2. Credit where credit's due, but overextension from Mr. Hoy, that's costly. And of course, now this means that for the T side, it's again back to the drawing board where it's going to be an okay-ish buy with the upgraded pistols and armor, but stick around 2k as a priority.
Yeah, that's certainly the main objective at this point, rather than sort of doing damage to the CT economy. But they've certainly done a lot of damage. Look at the buy. It's pretty abysmal. I say it's abysmal. They've got 4 M4s and all, but there's no util. They're just going to be relying on hitting shots. Steven hits 1, but nothing more than that. Sinksky just shutting him straight down in return. 1-for-1 trade, not bad on the CT side. And even if UWE, the plant would be ideal, but even if they just get kills and continue to do damage to Trent's economy, that's a win, right? That's certainly regarded as a win.
Yeah, so far as well. I think as well, for the Sea Stags, the priority is getting a bomb down here, because of course it gives them the long-term economy to find, a buy going forward, but at least making things expensive is what I'd hope to see from them. Zacko just going for a little peek, spotting 1 in towards Sandwich. Mr. Hoy very lucky to be alive, but from behind, the Deagle trying to cause problems, but unable to connect to a head, only a couple of back shots, and we know as well that Deagle, now, since the nerf, it's not really the same. Body spamming was brilliant before the nerf came through, but, I mean, now it's not the same, is it, right? Body shots mean absolutely nothing. It's like paintballs, never going to find a kill.
Yeah, you've got to be hitting those headshots, and if, unfortunately, like what happens, Bruh can just slip away, and he can turn around or just get his teammate to help you out. and get the kill. So a very quick turnaround in that round. After taking it so slow 4-on-4, they just completely, or Trent completely shut UWE out. So that's a nice find from them, keeping 4 guys alive. A bit of a cushion in terms of money. But that was only a half buy from UWE. It was barely anything at all. It's just a few pistols. Now they've got the buy. Magic bringing out the AWP. And the AKs on the board. A decent amount of util as well. Looking to progress up into A once again. 3 guys in mids looking to keep hold of it. And they're going to be challenging the Trent squad sometime soon. There's actually got a double setup at the ramp here. And Whiffin just holding from CT to try and watch Connector. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out.
Much slower tempos, although I do like how they're playing this. They're just cutting down this rotation, waiting for time to work in their favour. And of course, it's Burrow gets off to a fantastic start. The trade comes through on towards D, and already things looking very good. Man advantage collected for Trent Thunder, and this 3-0 looking like it could be 4, especially with Crit falling. The 2 remain alive for the Sea Stags, and they've got so much to do with so little to work with.
Well, they've still got 2 guys alive with the AK, and Mr. Hoy will be one of them. He finds 1 kill. But unfortunately, just run dry, like essentially a triple peak there coming through, and it is 4-0 for Nottingham. Trent could be feeling a bit more confident. I mean, they got how many rounds was it last? Well, last game was it like 5, 6?
6, yeah, 6 in total.
Yeah. So they got 4 already, and it's certainly a better result, and certainly going to be a better feeling than the previous map.
Towards mid. Aggression coming through here from the T side, but it's Whiffin again coming alive. MFO on S trying to cause further damage, but not quite going to connect. In fact, and Bruh gets traded down. Whiffin fires 1 more, but Mr. Hoy, Mac 10 in hand, is really getting up close and personal.
Very close and very personal. Whiffin just stuck in the corner trying to fire with the 5-7. Stephen will help him out though, as he'll slide in and get a cheeky 3k with the AK, just completely shutting that round down. And Nottingham Trent is looking so much better. They're so much better now. That was a very nicely played anti-eco. They're getting their economy going. You know, they've got the money there. A bit of a not quite a booster, but they're not losing too many guys now. So if they keep this up, they're certainly able to take it to this 3rd map. But UWE, a few of these rounds look slightly off. If they turn around, if they start hitting their shots, then it's going to be a very different story. As this round's no AWP brought out by Magic. Instead, 5 AKs looking to just change up the style. They've tried to go with this A-Rap quite a few times, and now they're looking to change it up. 4 guys in mids, 1 guy in underpass, and looking to just hold down mid control entirely. And there's a boost being brought out. Stephen hopping on top of the boxes, actually not being at all, just sitting there in a close angle. He doesn't realise Sinksky's so close. He'll drop the molly and try to fall back. Sinksky's already out, deep pushing through, and so is Crit. And Crit actually gets a double before getting killed by that molly. Stephen from beyond the grave will make it work. So overall, Nottingham Trent do benefit, but well, with Magic trying to make plays like that, it wasn't quite working out.
Yeah,
almost
it was
kill opens it up, but
high risk, high reward. Didn't work out, did it? And Mr. Hoy in a 1 versus 3 needs to isolate these fights brilliantly, but I don't think he's been given too much room to work with. Or I'll say this, he finds off 1, look for the second one, quite connecting. Zacko will be on cleanup duty. 6-0 start, and we mentioned, oh, maybe this could be a quick 2-0, but so far, Trent are in complete control of Mirage. Their CT side has been somewhat unstoppable, and what we're seeing from the Sea Stags is not good enough.
Yeah, we said about it, and at this point in time, it looks entirely the opposite. Trent just coming out, all guns blazing, and they've certainly turned around. They are hitting their shots. They've locked this down, and, well, they've practiced Mirage, apparently. Very different from, an entirely different story from Nuke. It's entirely a different team, or almost an entirely different team playing, it seems. So, much more loose, much more comfortable, and UWE just still running into quite a few problems. Again, pistol buy, but the pistols still do pack a punch. Magic does find 1 kill, and that may be the opening they need to get into A's. There's currently only Zacko here with an all-rotate across, but the site's fallen. But unfortunately for UWE, they don't have the bomb.
Yeah, that's the tough one. No bomb means no plant. They got them an advantage, not anymore. Back to 4 versus 4. Crit, lovely shot with a deagle that just destroys Whiffin. Already, things are looking uncomfortable, but I say this in Zacko. Picking up the AWP, making it work before D comes alive to bring it back to a 2 versus 2. If anything, these deagles are making it expensive.
Yeah, again, expense versus the CT side. It's good. It's nice. Anything they do is crippling Trent further down the line. And they've still actually got a chance to win this. Sinksky dropping the bomb to D, looking to be the man to try and find the opening. He does drop the flash as well, and there's actually a boost coming out. So if he catches Steven off here, it would be the perfect play, but he doesn't. Monge is watching the stairs. Steven's back is covered, leaving D with 18 HP, 18 seconds. And no hope at all to try and clutch. 7-0. The CT side looking unbreakable.
Yeah.
And the streak not looking to end.
Not at all. No, so far so good. 7-0. I mean, this is as one-sided as it got. We thought Nuke was one-sided. I mean, so far, this has been brilliant. But this goes back to what I was saying in the pre-game. You know, UWE at times are really slow to start. We saw the exact same thing as Ports of Paladins on Overpass. T-side C-Stags couldn't find a round for, what was 10, 11? Until they turned it around in the second half. So I'm not going to count them out just yet, but already a brilliant start. Whiffen finds the opener. Crit falls. There's an important kill to find. And Magic lucky to still be alive as well as he takes a tag. Or not a tag. He gets a nade straight to the feet as he's dropped to 51 points of HP. C-Stags slow to start and they could be punished for it, and Whiffen doubling down.
That's a tight shot for Whiffen to hit, and he somehow does. And with Magic, I don't know if that's just a GoTV delay, but it looked very sort of slow with trying to hit that shot. The guy jumping at B, and Whiffen's just not missing any shots at all. A 3k for him now, running all the way across the map, running up mid, running back down mid, running across to A, getting as many shots as possible, and he's now back in mid, looking to try and shut down Magic. He's watching and waiting on the right side, but unfortunately for him, he will not be challenged just as of yet. Zacko does find the bomb, leaving Magic by himself. 100% headshot ratio, apparently, with only 2 kills. But that may change with the AUE, as Bro has gone wandering and Magic is looking for him, but Bro's that bit quicker. In the off angle, hits the instant headshot, gets Trent to 8, and on a buy round for the C-Stags, they don't make a dent, they don't kill a single guy.
No, not at all. This is just so one-sided. 8-0, map number 2. Credit where credit's due. This is just a brilliant performance from Trent. They have stepped up on towards CT side. And again, UWE C-Stags look so slow to start, but this is not the side that we saw on Nuke. They have not at all come into this. They wanted the Puggy style of maps, but it's the Puggy style maps that are working massively in favour of Trent here, who are winning all of their aim duels.
It's so bizarre. It's an entirely different team. UWE, they'll be testing the B side now, as there's only one, actually 2 guys here. Steven underneath the apartment will get the first. Munch looks to go and try and get one. Somehow he kills Mr. High with that spray. As Whiffen, he's rotated in, he'll get one as well. Steven's still alive, but not for much longer. Crit finding him, smoke going in. But time is running out for the C-Stags as the rotations have arrived. Whiffen's in the sight. Zacko looking to arrive from kitchen as well, and Braz already on the flank. Crit. He's got so much on his shoulders to try and do, and again, any damage he does do is nice, and that's at least 1 kill found. Zacko going down, he has to reload, but Bruh is already out of apartments. Crit has absolutely no idea, and he will get shut down from the side. Not bad for a half buy, but it's not winning. It's not winning rounds.
Yeah, it's not bad, but when it comes down to the main thing is they have yet to get a round on the board. It is 9-0. I mean, Trent are just a completely revitalized side here. Or maybe the other side, that UWE C-Stags are just a shadow of their former selves. This is poor. It's lackluster to say the least, and the C side are really struggling. Fullbacks come through. Will they be able to convert it is the real question that they desperately need to.
They really do. They need to get something on the board. And at this point, 9-0 on Mirage that you've picked into.
Yeah.
You've got to have something, some sort of a plan together. As they finally decide to go for a bit of an execute. All the smoke's down, and Trent looking to perfectly counter it as they have a massive rotation straight away. They've got Steven running all the way through T-spawn. 2 in CT, and they're just spraying through. Munch will find a kill. Crit does get one back, taking down Zacko on the side. But 4 on 4 with not even a retake in action yet. They've still got mollies that they can just use to buy time, and Bruh in connector will be able to try and shut them down, but Magic's got a good flank. D watching, not quite for the flank, but watching for the entry, but Steven is completely undetected here, and he can get so many kills. He finds the first, but can't find the second. D instantly reacting, instant headshot, and the rounds may just be theirs. Finally on the board, Whiffen left in a 1v3 with the AUE trying to clutch. Crit is not facing him in the slightest. And unless Whiffen gets an opening, I think he's going to be trying to save this.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, their long-term economy is absolutely fine. I mean, of course it is, you know, they're 9-0, but it goes back to the same thing. Is it worth the risk of just dropping this for absolutely no reason? A 1 versus 3 even AWP to try and pick off you know, 3 people in completely different post-bomb positions. They know exactly where he is as well. It's just a matter of time. But for whiffing, he's going to fall. Crit cleans it up, and finally, we see the Sea Stags pick up a round on T side. It only took to the 10th round of play for them to find some sort of consistency. The question is, how many did they pick up in this half? It's 9-0 to Trent. They've got a long-term economy, which allows them comfortable consecutive buys no matter how the rounds end. And it's just not good enough really from the T side.
It really isn't. They're going to have to get these, at least quite a few more. And they've got to get some sort of a stride built. As Whiffin's not looking to slow down, 9 kills, looking for 10, and they'll get it. Finds Mr. Hoy. D will get a refrag onto Steven. And that does again put it into a 4-on-4 mid-control now taken by the T's. Bros looking to try and fight for it entirely flat, sitting in the corner. Magic doesn't actually see him. He doesn't look or somehow just doesn't notice. And Bro will punch him for that. That is a monumental mistake, and he is punished for that. UWE down a man now. D already tagged, and Monge looking to push straight through into B. And he goes all the way through B. Finding the bomb, dropped it at his feet, waiting for a push as well. He'll stick around, sitting behind the sofa. Eventually thinking about falling back as D is looking to try and probe him. Smoke in hand though, he will just about get caught off. The spray is good enough. They will collect the bomb, but now Trent, they've got info on exactly where the Sea Stags are. Both of them remaining, running straight into B, and Whiffin's already here.
Easy, comfortable, looking for the opportunities and going to find himself one. Trying to isolate it, and Whiffin does it perfectly. 3 kills to his name, meaning that Trent find double digits in this first half, a 10-1 scoreline. We thought the first half was one-sided. This is just something special. A 12-3 at the half on Nuke was brilliant from UWE Sea Stags, and Trent could be able to, you know, answer right back with one of their own.
Yeah, they're really good. This is just so unexpected. I can't get over how just baffling this is, right? Like, it's a completely different side. They're looking so different.
Yeah.
And, well, I mean, what can you say much more than that? UWE looking broken and lost. And they will try to force into it in this by Magic with the AUE. Mr. Hoy with the Gallo, not much use. And 60 trying to get an opening. He can't find anything at all. Magic eventually will find an opening of his own. Takes down Monge, getting a bit too curious. Jump peeking up and finding some man advantage for the Sea Stags.
Yeah, they finally got one. The question is, can they use this as a catalyst to round in their favour? They've struggled to do it once before, so I'm not going to count this out for the time being. But at least this time they got utility and a significantly better firepower to work with. So it's a bit of a waiting game.
Very much a waiting game. Taking it slow. I mean, you've got the man advantage, right? You can dictate the pace at this point in time.
Yeah, yeah.
So they can do whatever they want to. And with those smokes going out, there will be them looking to try and take mid-control. And instead, they just deny info to the Trent squad. Instead, they're heading over towards B. And that site will be open. Only Steven here looking to try and have any sort of an impact. And from short, this is entirely on timing, whether he can actually get it done or not. And he can't. Crit just turns around, rips his face off. The bomb can get planted. 3v5 retake, it's not looking too likely. And
No.
I think Trent are going to be trying to save this. Money's not great either again.
No, I mean, at the very least, right, you know, rounds have been going in favour of UWE, but they've at least been making it expensive. That's the kind of the main thing about it. They're making it expensive, and because of that, they're keeping the economy in check, really, for Trent, not allowing it to get too overzealous, which is hence why now we are just seeing that save coming forward. Whiffin does find one as the T-side do go hunting. I think going hunting is a little bit overzealous. It's not worth the risk, especially when you look over to a Sea Stags when they really can't afford to do so. But the main thing is a second round collected. Finally, they're finding something on the board from what has been a really poor performance so far, Mirage.
Yeah, really poor is just, you know, the way to sum it up. And you can't say like they've just been garbage or whatever, because I mean, they've been trying to make an impact, but the expectations are so high considering how they performed in the previous map, and this is nowhere near what they should be, right? And
No,
finally we do see a good timeout called. This is actually the first timeout of the series, right? And this is by Nottingham Trent with a 10-2 up. Slightly odd that it's taken this long for, you know, some sort of a timeout, considering they didn't use it at all on the last map, I don't believe. And it's slightly odd that the UWE they haven't used a timeout themselves. 10-2 down. Why are they not trying to discuss what's going wrong?
Yeah, and well, what's going wrong is a lot so far, right? It's not been good, looking good at all if you're UWE. But of course, I think the big hope for them is that when it comes to their CT side, they're just able to find some security coming in. Obviously, this is slightly more of a CT side and map. I say slightly because it's not always guaranteed. But of course, bruh, perfect start. Sinski falling early doors, and already things not looking good for the Sea Stags. I say that a Magic finds a trade.
3v4, Munch with not much money, and he'll have to make do with the MP9. It's not perhaps the easiest weapon to use on Mirage. Obviously, we said about it being used on Nuke, and that was great, but on this, it's not so good. The M4, however, is certainly very, very good. That's a nice kill found by Bro. Actually collects the AK, gets a second, and Trent, they just fly back into it. They get their 11th, and they just recover, and they recover straight away.
Yeah, exactly. Comfortable, and that's the thing. You can see the confidence starting to really play through now for Trent, because, you know, it's a blip on the sort of round difference is nothing to them, and that shows really how confident they have been so far. And the question is, you probably expect them to carry it on. 11-2, and this is going to be a tough finish. Well, I say that, Mr. Hoy finds one, bro falls.
It's a nice opening, but Mr. Hoy, can he follow it up? There's Magic looking to try and follow it up instead. He's the man with a plan up short, and he actually misses the shot. Steven punishing them. That's a double found that he certainly should not have. D eventually gets the trade, but that should have been Magic's shot by a long mile. That should have been a very nice entry and a very nice securing of this round. But now, well, I say now it's turning around, but it's not turning around at all, as D will continue to frag, taking down one of the CTs in the window. A very quick frag, but it works. Instant headshot. They've got the man advantage, and now they look to head towards B. There's only one guy here. It's Monge with MP9 in the corner. Not the best weapon, but it can certainly do damage. And, well, they won't do any today. He goes down with absolutely nothing to show for it, leaving Zacko with only $500 in the bank and an M4 to try and clutch.
Yeah, bit of a tough situation, Zacko, and I think he's going to make the probably executive call just to keep hold of this AWP. A very expensive investment, no need to be overzealous. Just fall away, keep hold of what you've got, reassess, go back to the drawing board heading into the final round of the half. The penultimate round goes the way the Sea Stags are third on the board. It's slightly better than what we saw from Trent on Nuke, but we all know how that ended, so I'm not going to say anything so far. It's just really not been good enough on the T side, and you'd hope that Sea Stags, when it comes to their CT, they're able to find consistency on it that they had on Nuke, but their confidence doesn't seem to be there at all. Okay, good. They found a third round. It's better than nothing, but
He does the bomb. It's a bit awkward.
yeah, that is awkward. That is not good at all.
Yeah, they've got to be trying to scramble. They're going to have to certainly have a good talking to in this half time, right? Because even if they get this fourth round, 11-4, it's just not the best half at all.
No,
especially when you picked into it on the T side of Mirage. So they need to sort of change it up. Obviously, the last round looking better, but I think the winners, regardless, are Trent so far. So we're gonna have, that's the thing. It's a game of two halves. I'm saying this. But maybe UWE's T side is just weak. Maybe their CT side is an absolute wall. So we're certainly going to have to see what happens as Trent. I mean, they've done this on the CT side. Why can't UWE? As we look to get straight into continuing into the final round of this half. And whiffing, he will whiff a shot, but he hits the second. The follow-up taking down Crit, looking for more, and he'll find Magic, leaving Mr. Hoy by himself. He's getting mollied out, trying to take the fight. They're looking to fight him. Steven as well, jumping across his bruh. And he'll get the final kill. 12-3, half 4 needed to take it to that decider of Inferno. Yeah, they're wanting to stay in this upper bracket.
And deservedly so, what it sort of seems. You know, Trent Thunder, they have come off flying on towards Mirage. It's a puggy map, and they're playing it exactly like that. Brilliantly done, deservedly in the strong position. And, you know, you look over towards now the likes of UWE, right? This is starting to give me already, I guess, glimmers and kind of a mirroring image of what we saw from them against Pulsar Paladins. It was a dominant first half from the Paladins on their CT side, but when they swapped halves and we saw UWE go into their CT side, it's where they actually won this one out. So that's why I'm not completely giving up hope in that sense. I've seen them do it once before from a terrible first half on T side, really turn things around. Okay, that was an overpass, completely different map, but looking exactly the same. UWE start really slow, but then find their feet.
It's certainly possible, yeah. If Trent had done that on the CT side, why can't UWE? They've said about how good they are. And this pistol round, it's going to be very important. If Trent take this, then UWE is going to be looking so lost. So it's paramount to try and have a good start in this. And Trent, they've actually brought quite a bit to play. Quite a bit of util. 2 guys, Whiffin and Steven, with 2 smokes, 3 flashes between them. P250 on Whiffin, not dropping it across to anyone to go for the raid boss setup. And they're looking to line up to try and hit A. Waiting outside, stair smoke coming across. I'm assuming there's a jungle smoke coming across. They charge straight out. Crit underneath, looking to try and take the fight. Gets stuck on the ladder and will go down to Zacho. Magic, though, on the other hand, he just tapping away. Gets 2 kills. And frags back and forth, 2-on-2, Mr. High and D versus Zacho and Steven, sorry. What do they do? Steven trying to take the fight, and D just takes him down. A phenomenal play, but Zacho coming back, taking down Mr. High. D left on 1 HP, trying to clutch, and this is going to be a hell of a play if he somehow just gets the instant headshot. Waiting for Zacho, and he can't quite fire in time. Zacho, he hits the body shot, gets the 4K, and Trent, well, they get to 13.
Yeah, it's a stunning pistol round once again. But they've taken both the pistol rounds when they come towards Mirage. Deservedly so, 13-3, got a 10-round lead, and surely this is just a matter of time before they push this on towards map number 3, because it deserves to be here. You know, Trent done there, they've come out completely refreshed after a poor map number 1. But at the very least, Magic gets off to a good start. Scout connects, and their first kill going the way of the CT side. Can they make it work, though?
They're going to have to try and make this force work. They've got to have to. It's not whether they can, it's that they've got to. If they lose this 14-13, then they're an eco, I guess they'll try force again. It's not looking good in the slightest.
No.
So they've got to try and make it work. And with that kill advantage, that is a nice find, but they've got to make these weapons work to try and get back into this. A 10-round difference. It's not the best at all. Sinski is jump peeking, and just be careful not to lose his head. MP9 in hand and waiting for the push from the T side. All four lining up outside. And it looks like they're knocking right on the B side door.
Big nade as well. Zinski in a bit of a tough position. Just going to post up over towards Tarek. Mr. Hoyer finds the first. Zacho trying to find the clearance coming through. But this MP9 can be tested now. I say this. He tested. He survived. Parsley with flying colours. He doubled it down. 1-4 and 1-by-1. Zinski picks them apart. Stunning stuff from him. As UWE find a 4th and they find a lifeline. The force by working in their way. Started with a beautiful scout shot from Magic to kickstart a comeback. And it's Zinski with a 3K. To give UWE a bit of room to work with.
3K, and he's only got 5 kills in total. So, you know, he's done more than double his kills. And that is a good start. If you want to come back, you're going to have everyone fragging, everyone pulling their own weight. And so far, he's not really had too much of an impact in the slightest. His teammates, not too bad. He's been trying his hardest, Crit as well. So it's certainly going to be a very, it's going to be a big challenge to come back into this and for them to find their footsteps. Crit will kick it off with a deagle kill, taking down Zacho. Steven finds one back, though. Zinski talked about him. And he does sort of go down with a whimper. D will find one across back at A. As they charge straight into B. Mr. Hoy from short, looking to try and find more kills. He gets the first, but he's tagged down low. And Monge will take down Crit, so the B bomb site is actually theirs. He'll fall away, but there's a reason why. It's because they've got the bomb. That ramp just waiting there.
Yeah. Free plan. It should be pretty comfortable, you'd hope to say. Well, we'll see how this one plays out. 2 versus 3 here. They're waiting for an opportunity to work with. It depends what Trent want to do with this, really. The bomb's down. They do have a little bit of a ruse of no real setup. The CTs have no real idea of where they are, but their kind of positions are so, wow, they're so secure, right? There's no overextension. There's no overzealous peaks coming through. And for Steven and Monge, I think this is a tough situation with 30 seconds left to work with. They have no information. They've given away all the sound cues as well. It's just a matter of time, it seems, for the C-Stags to clean this one up.
Yeah, time certainly a very big matter. 20 seconds left. A good nade going out onto Monge. Doing a lot of damage. Mr. Hoy so low, but somehow kills Steven. And that's left up to Monge with 15 seconds left, looking to push, and he'll swing straight into a double stack. Magic, along with D, will shut him down.
Yeah.
And that's a good round out of UWE. It's smart that they played off the bomb, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly. It's comfortable. I like that. It's a lot better. They're starting to find this sort of team synergy that I think they've really struggled to do. But the question is, can they keep it up? It's the consistency where they really lacked. I think on their nuke side, we saw that consistency in, what, more than enough fashion, right? It was a brilliant showing from them, which they've never really found in Mirage, but now they start to find it. Again, it mirrors exactly what we saw against them in Portsmouth Paladins.
Yeah, exactly. It's deep. He's looking to try and mirror getting quite a few kills, but he only gets one shut down. Crit will get 3, pulls out the pistol. Not in time, though. He'll get shut down by Monj, who's left now with 32 HP and a bomb to plant. So that's actually a nice benefit that he's found. With the molly and the nades going in, he will have to try and face the music. And the music, it's, well, seeing quite a sour tune for him. The retake comes in. 3 left alive. Not bad at all.
No, it's actually not really the end of the world, especially because Trent get that bomb on. I think that's gives them some room to work with. That's the priority, right? In those sort of situations, when you come in with not a lot, it's just getting that bomb down. You know, of course, a 1 versus 3, Montra's never going to be able to convert that one in his favour, especially with the utility raining down on his position. But getting the bomb down does give, of course, them now a very, very comfortable buy. Quad AK, 1 AWP, take on the 3M4A1S's 1 AK and 1 AWP in the hands of Magic. 6 rounds collected, though. C-Stag's finding somewhat security.
Yeah, a bit more, I guess, mellowed out, feeling a bit more secure as they do get a few more rounds on the board. And even if they lose this map overall, you don't want to lose, you know, with barely getting any rounds on the T side, and barely any on the CT as well, just looking so weak and floppy and empty. So even if they do only get a few more, it's not all bad. But obviously they're in it to try and win it. So they're looking to try and bring it back, and there's no reason why they can't. If they just do exactly what Trent did to them, if they just bash the economy, constantly put them on a buy, not buy, buy, not buy, they can bring it back.
Exactly. Well, so far, so good. C-Stag's have found the man advantage, and Singsky is such a tough position to clear, and he finds a double. Zacko and Whiff and Fall, and I think this may be their number up. From a boosted position, he finds one more to his tally, and he's all down to 1 man. That of Steven, unable to convert, finds himself a consolation kill, but it's only that, it's a consolation. As C-Stags find a 7th on the board.
Finally, yeah, it took their time, and the money is actually not looking too bad. They're certainly pretty happy with that, I'd imagine, in that they're starting to build up the bank, and hopefully this should be a free round for them, or they're hoping it'll be a free round. As Trent, they've just got a few pistols and armor, though, so can be very lethal. UWE didn't really get anywhere with these sorts of buys in the first round. They did occasionally, you know, make a dent, maybe get a plant, but they didn't get any round wins off of it, I don't believe. So Trent, well, if they do, it's certainly doing better than UWE did. As Brothers can push straight through the smoke, straight through the seating. That is a mistake. D is waiting for him. Magic just shooting straight through the smoke, getting a headshot too. Pushing all the way through, pushing every boundary, and it doesn't work out for Trent as the boundaries, they just push back. That's Newton's third law in action, and UWE, they get to their 8th round.
One of those things, like I said, this is starting to mirror exactly what we saw against the Paladins. A dominant first half where on the T side, the C-Stags were lackluster, to say the least. I mean, again, it was something very similar, like a 12-3. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but something along the same lines, like a 12-3. Where then when it came to the UWE on their CT side, they were brilliant. And this is starting to show exactly that. Trent are really struggling on their T side. They can't find any sort of security. Even a simplistic thing like getting a bomb down is a huge ask, where there's no ability to set up a post plant. And that's credit to C-Stags. They're consistently finding that opening kill. Off the back of it, they use that opening kill as a catalyst to a round in their favour. The man advantage makes all the difference, because all they have to do is play the trade game.
Yeah, that is literally all they need to do, just the trade game. And if they do that, well, it should work out, as Whiffin does finally, after waiting so long, find an opening kill. He's been pretty solid with this AWP, and he will continue to be. But Mr. Hoy's looking to try and make plays back, as he does get spotted out. Bruh, switching from the smoke back to the AK, will get the kill, extends it to a 2-man advantage, and Trent look to swing back into it. They've only got a pistol round on this D side so far, and they're hoping for a gun round, trying to edge closer to that 16th round that they need to take it to the final map. And it's possible, and certainly looking very possible in this round at least. There's 4 guys sitting outside A, just Monj waiting and lurking around A. B's an empty site and is looking to be taken.
It's a bit of a freebie round here that it's looking like Trent are going to walk away with. Monj is still just being a nuisance over towards A, but of course this B site completely barren. No Guardian here to shut it down. It's going to be a free plant coming through. They've cleared it with these. In towards kitchen they go. Once they've got security over this position, it should be done and dusted. Monjo forward with the bomb planted. I think it might be an early call to save here for the CT side. I mean, they could be tempted to go for it if they could find an early kill, but with the utility already dropped, there's now kind of no need, really. Try and play the long game. But the question is, and the worrisome thing is, it does give a 14th over towards Trent. They're 2 rounds away from pushing this to a map number 3.
Yeah, as you said, they could have gone for this. They've got a decent amount of money, but Magic on 12k, Mr. High on almost 12k, so certainly could have gone for it. But instead, they will go for openings, exit kills, which is not a bad sort of suggestion if you're getting killed like that. But Sinkerski will get 3. D goes down with nothing. But the spray comes through. That kind of decimates the D side. They will have enough money to buy thanks to that bomb plant and the round win, but it is keeping them modest. So it's showing that, even just that single action, it shows that UWE had presence, they had a bit of control on the map, they didn't just, shrink away and hide in Palace, they actually actively went for kills. So that's something for their confidence, it's certainly saying something. Mr. Hoy takes a bit of team damage, I believe, which isn't the best start, especially when Trent are 2 rounds away from taking match point of your own map pick.
On full by both ways. A big test there for... especially for Trent, I'd say. Lose this round without a bomb plant, economy broken, back to square one for them. But of course, but the main thing is by losing this round, they essentially give up double digits because they're left with not much of a buy, just the pistols coming through, and you'd expect C-Stags to convert a kind of eco versus AK sort of round. But we'll see how this one plays out first. Round number 23. 14-8 on the scoreline, 6-round difference. And a very, very slow tempo as Whiffin's looking for a bit of an opportunity to work with. Will he be given it?
That is the question everyone's asking. Will he be given it? As Magic is looking to stick around Connector. If he peeks out here, Whiffin is watching for him. And Whiffin is not going to miss that shot. He takes down Magic. Again, the man advantage taken by the AUPA on the Trent squad. As he looks to roll straight into A, and Crit is in the corner. He's in a very dangerous position as the flash goes through. And he can take on the bomb carrier, but nothing else. Deal find one from CT, and that actually almost covers him, but obviously he's dead. With the nade going in, not quite in, it bounces off the top of the box. That could have been very good, a lot of damage done to D, but instead D will remain alive and relatively healthy. Bright is watching for it, swings out, Mr. High finds one. Sacco getting a trade back, Mr. High just pushing straight into the site, no restraints at all. That will reward him, as he does get one more kill. D will find the final kill. A 2k each, and UWE, as you said, they've taken the round and they're looking to get there at least double digits.
Yeah, exactly that. Well, now the question is, how far can this sort of run of form go? 14-9, and then you look over towards the side, as I mentioned, with an economy not in a stable state all round. Only Bro having anything to work with. It's just going to be the upgraded pistol buy. Deagle's coming through, 1 tech 9. Give them somewhat of an opportunity. The priority, as I said, is that bomb plant. Will they be given it? Probably unlikely, as Magic kick starts this round. Finding an open on towards Monge, already the man advantage collected. You'd say they probably have the ability to close this one out. But to say this, over towards the A site, Whiffin was going walkies, and he gets caught off guard.
Oh, that phrase, going for walkies, or just going walkies, yeah. And walkies was very accurate, as he was just sneaking through. Luckily for UWE, they are on the ball, as they do mop up the rest of the T squads, stay with 5 alive, and bring the round difference to within 4. So that's not actually that humongous, not that big at all, considering it was 12-3 half, and then Trent won the pistol, 13-3, 10 rounds, back down to 4 now. That's a very drastic change, and UWE, they've got the economy, they're looking good, they're feeling more confident, they can bring this back. And I said this, that they could just have a really strong CT side, and so far it's looking decent. They've had a few falters and a few sort of weak points. You have to be careful of that, as they are certainly being tested by Trent, who are looking to stay in this upper bracket and go to the finals with that map advantage.
Yeah, of course. Now, big test. Again, we're 14-10 on the scoreline. You already start to speak about whether Trent have lost all their momentum, and it does seem like the case at the moment. So far, so good. Whiffin looking for a peak, though, looking for an opportunity. Will he be given that? I don't think he will. Much slower tempo as well here from the T side. They're learning from their mistakes about not overextending, but still need to make it work. And whoever that was jump peak is very lucky to be alive. But Mr. Hoy goes in for the swing and gets punished.
Yeah, it's not working out. Whiffin's just not hitting. Well, he is hitting. He's not missing his shots in this game so far. Been performing very well. 19 kills and looking to continue to add to that tally. At the moment, perhaps not so much, as the rest of his squads are looking to try and attack A, meeting up to try and shut this down, and he will shut it down straight off. Monge getting jump, or not jump beat, but D, jumping on top of the boxes, hitting the instant headshot flash going through, and D will continue to fire, but can't quite get the kill. 25 kills, leaving up to Crit on 21, looking for 22, maybe more. Zacko peeking out with a nade in his hand, can't go down, but Crit will take him down eventually as he kills Steven just before him. Pulls out the pistol, sits at the back, Magic has his back, and Whiffin's left by himself in a 1v2 as Bruss somehow kills Crit from beyond the grave, but no time, no hope, and Trent, they'll give up the 11th round to UWE.
Yeah, the biggest thing there was, you know, Crit over towards the side. Of course, he slightly whiffed the shot, ever so slightly whiffed the shot there on towards the Palace player, but the biggest thing was just cutting down time. Once that bomb gets dropped, all he has to do is just stay alive, which he perfectly does, though. Of course, the Molotov will be able to find him, you know, later on, but at that point, what, there's like 12 seconds to work with, the bomb needs to be collected, needs to be planted, there's a player over towards Ticket, impossible. 14-11, and again, back to the drawing board for Trent, where they're really, really starting to struggle. And things are looking dire for the T side in towards mid. Magic spots one. Miss shot though, uncharacteristic miss has to be said as UWE in a strong position. It's a big healthy nade in towards underpass.
Very healthy for the CT side, not so healthy for Bro as he's gone down to half HP, and Crit will continue to do damage, getting 2 kills, shutting down that T attack into connector. Not entirely, as they do just trade him back and to establish a bit more control, but they're down a man, and Bruh not looking so happy. Yeah, looking to go for a bit of a boost, perhaps on to try and watch short, but UWE, they've adjusted, they've had time to adjust, no blitzkrieg plays coming out of the T side, so the CTs are certainly adjusted, and they're now waiting, and they're happy in their positions. They've got, look at this, some aggressive as well, Sinkski, sorry, pushing up so far into B apps. Such a strong position. That's basically lockdown B. That does mean that Mr. Hoy can just watch the window position, the little vent, and the other two can just sit there and hold A. And that's just looking so good as Trent, they're waiting for the time to just slowly slip away, looking to try and get into A, but looking is not doing. 30 seconds left, Whiffing with the bomb at ramp. He's being watched by Magic, and he's going for the peak, but Magic is quicker. And essentially with that, their hopes are done as D will get the final 2. 14-12 UWE with such a good comeback. Monstrous.
Brilliant. I'm really, really impressed. And, you know, it goes exactly back to what I said earlier. You know, it was 12-3 off, but I still said this is exactly what happened against Paws and Paladins. Exactly the same way. A terrible T-side performance from the C-Stags, but they turn it around on the CT. Where it matters most, they closed it out. They did it against Paladins, which is why I never sort of doubted them when it came to coming on towards their CT side. They've done it once before. He said they can't do it twice, and Crit kickstarts things brilliantly. Bro, fall, of course, it's only the eco buy with just the upgraded pistols, or a big nade in towards Palace could make things very uncomfortable, and it does. Zacko and Steven take a healthy amount of damage as Magic will be on cleanup duty. And things are already starting to fall apart. One by one, they're being picked apart, and it's down 2-1. Monch, you know, 1 versus 5, and I think it's pretty safe to say that this is a clean-cut round for the Sea Stags to find 13, because I can't see a Monch doing this.
No, I can't at all. Maybe a kill, but I think that's even pushing it. They are actually rushing at him, so he could be rewarded for their eagerness to try and fight him, but he won't. D will just spray through his legs and finish him off. Close the gap to within 1, and it's getting uncomfortable now for the Trent team. Trent Thunder just feeling it, feeling the pressure. They've had this just on lock, essentially. They had it in the first half. 13-3 after winning the pistol, and now they've got 1 round, and UWE, they've brought it back by 10. It's not really good for them. It's looking good for the UWE though, certainly.
This is essentially for me what could be the last well, not last full buy, but the last sort of opportunity really for Trent. If they fail to convert this, give up 14 over towards C-Stag, they're once again going to be left in a double eco situation where they've got no economy. The biggest thing is losing the mental game. That's a perfect start. Whiffin finds the opener. Molotov can be dropped in here. Sinsky avoids the flashbang quite nicely, but the smoke dropped. Needs to find a double here at the very least. 1, 2 collected, and the bomb dropped as well as the main thing. Spots out the AUE and the 5-7 trying to cause further damage, but of course Steven comes in for cleanup duty. 2 versus 3 here, one in which Trent desperately need to convert if they want to push this to map number 3. But if UWE come on top, this is the game done and dusted, and Steven left in a 1 versus 3. Trying to isolate these fights here, even that seems like a tall order, and it's going to be exactly that. Magic brilliant to find a double, and C-Stags find 14 from a 12-3 half. They tie this game up, and just like that, it's back to the square one for Trent. where nothing is working out for them. What a performance on CT side. They did it once against Porto Paladins, and they're doing it here again against Trent Thunder. C-Stags, a terrible T side, but a brilliant CT.
28 kills on Crit, 28 on D. I said about Crit, but D, he's certainly been an unsung hero. Now have to go big again. Instead, it's Crit going big at the same bomb. But shuts down Whiffen, pushing through. He's been the attempted hero for the Trent Thunder squads, but it's again a very tall order trying to push back against the UWE C-Stacks when they're just so good. On fire at this point. D finding another kill. Zacko and Steve in the last two, the remnants of the Trent Thunder squad. That's Steven certainly disappointed himself, I guess. 7 HP left. Zacko just holding the window in mid and Magic. It would surprise me if he just goes for this and wins that fight. But at the moment, he is waiting. 1 minute 10 left on the clock. No need to try and push. It's such a crucial round. Number 29, 14-14. The C-Stags, they're just poised and in position to get to match point and to take this map and take it 2-0.
Yeah, exactly that. And deservedly so. In towards that Palace position, D finds one more to his already stonking tally, and it leaves Zach all alone in 1 versus 4. Failure to convert. The spray finally does connect onto Mr. Hoy, but left with a slither of health. His information relayed, and of course, the main thing is no bomb to work with. He's not going to get a plant down here. He's not going to be given the isolation of a 1 versus 3. All C-Stags have to do is just remain alive. Magic on cleanup duty once again. As C-Stags find 15, 1 round away from clearing this one up, and go back to what I was saying once again. Look at that economy. Trent are going to be able to just about pick up somewhat of a buy, but somewhat is saying a lot because it's Galil's half armor, bit of utility at the very most, and the biggest thing, they have completely lost the mental game.
They really have. They would be, well, I mean, considering the last round, they just pushed through, wanting to get it over with at this point. Whiffen will get 1 entry, and Steven actually follows it up as Crit only gets 1. They've got a man advantage here. They've got the sight, and they're looking for more as Mr. Hoy just panic jumps straight in. Monge will finish him off, and now it's down to Magic and Sinksky to try and actually deny overtime. Well, looks so secure. Trent just pulled out a wicked play. So quick, straight into the A-bomb site. UWE have panicked, and now they're in a 2v4 retake, and it's not looking the best. One weapon is the AWP, and that's Magic, and he's up close right next to Monge, either side of this pillar, and the quickscope will not hit. It'll completely miss. Sinksky will get 1 kill, but he's down to 16. The swing coming out from Zacko. We are going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen. 15-15. We're not over just yet.
Not just yet. I mean, it seems still that, I guess the driving force is, for me, UWE C-Stags. They're looking better momentum-wise, but again, Trent, they may have found something that works in their favour. Hold W. I mean, they've really struggled at times to find quick tempo under their belt. They never really changed up their tempo too much, and finally when they do so, go just aggressive, last-ditch Hail Mary over towards the A site. It works in their favour, so there we go. Positive signs. The question is, how do they want to play this now? Bomb still dropped passively over towards those B stairs, and this time they slowed down the tempo once again, but Steven playing with fire as he's very close to that AWP.
Yeah, this is going to be a very important question, how they do play this, as that when he goes in, that actually could be quite a hot position for Bro, and somehow he doesn't die. Down to half HP, though. He will remain in the server. But after struggling so much on this T side, eventually getting their 3rd round on the T side right at the end, it's going to be very important to see how they play this and how much of an impact they can get in this overtime. As Whiffen does, again, find the opening. He's been very consistent with this. Been very good. So he will take down Mr. Hoy. That's a nice find, but Chris just pushed all the way through mid. He can take down Whiffen here. That's the AWP dead. That's the bomb drops at his feet. He can collect the AWP, and now Trent, they're looking in disarray as
Brilliant.
Crit will continue to rain damage down with that AWP.
Yeah, I think, Whiffen, impact-wise, has been unstoppable at times, but at times, he seems to be the only real positive sign. Crit spots one more jumpy coming forward. Missed shot. Slightly CSGO there, but second time round doesn't give them the light of day. Flashbang to come through could work brilliantly in his favour. He does. Oh, a sumptuous 4K from Crit there to find UWE C-Stags this 16th round on the board. The first in OT. And well, Trent on the diamond. Again, back to the drawing board. The positive sign, though, it is, of course, 16k OT, right? We're playing MR16, and then because of that, you can pretty comfortably have a full buy every single round. You can buy an AWP all 3 rounds of the half, not a problem at all. So double AWP setup coming out for the C-Stags, which nearly falls to just 1.
That's a slightly odd play coming out from the C-Stags, right? Double AWP, D's been so good with the rifles, yet, well, he tries his hand at the AWP and it's not going to work out. Whiffen again with the opening. I want to know, stat-wise, how many opening kills he's got. He's been absolutely fantastic on both sides, getting so many openings. So even if they do lose this, he's certainly been a highlight in this series.
Yeah.
As that is a man advantage now to Trent Thunder, looking to try and make use of it. 3 guys waiting around B, 2 in mid, looking to go for a split, setting up for one at least. 3 on ramp, whiffing with the AWP, lining up that smoke and waiting to throw it as they do execute onto the site. There's 3 guys here though, and Crit, along with Mr. Hoy, they've shown that they can be very, very good at this, and a flash coming out, that will be devastating if Crit can just make use of that, and it's perfect. Steven's blinded, he's looking for more, and he'll line them up. Only getting 1, Mr. Hoy will steal 1 away, but the damage has been done. Whiffin now left with 13 HP, trying to clutch a 1v2, getting the 4k. 40 seconds left, misses the jump, will drop the smoke, and get a bit more space.
I think he purposely pulled away from that jump. He was looking for the information towards Palace, but overextending on towards stairs gives away too much of a ruse, and of course the sound cue is the biggest thing. Now he's going to double back. He's got the bomb in hand. It's a 1 versus 2, 20 seconds to work with though, and essentially all CSGO have to do is just wait and hold. They're double stacked over towards connector. The second he tries to get a bomb down, they've got that all-inclusive HE grenade that can deny it, and that's going to be the plan of action. 10 seconds to work with. Whiffin doesn't have time in his favour. Bomb trying to go down, and surely the HE comes in to clean up. But it's not going to be the case, in fact. Maybe they're a little bit overzealous. They need to just not isolate those fights, and they do it brilliantly. 17 collected to get a bomb down at the very least, but it means absolutely nothing in MR16. It's UWE Stags to find 17. They found the opening 2 rounds, and of course, what we're looking for, Ant, is an elusive 19 rounds, and they're 2 rounds away.
Yeah. The ever-elusive 19 rounds. And yeah, 1 round left on this CT side, and it's so far looked pretty decent. The odds, odd for the nade to not quite land. I think they threw it accidentally a bit too far. I mean, at this point, you've had an entire maps of play. Well, you know, the first map, you've had this entire second map go through 30 rounds of regulation. You're going to have a bit of nerves, even if it is versus perhaps, you know, something that you're more than comfortable with. The nerves are going to come into play. So it's, well, either way, the round had ended, and the round was finished off, even if the nade didn't land. Magic going for a very questionable peek, and he will get finished off. Bruh almost getting the kill, but Steven will finish him off, and that's a questionable play, certainly. But UWE, they've conceded the man advantage before, and still turned around the rounds and converted it before, so no reason they can't do it again.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an overextension there from Magic. I think he just got a little bit overconfident. You see it at times. Overzealous peaks come through because things are looking good, and gives away the man advantage, which is tough, right? We've seen time and time again. For the most part, the man advantage is usually a conversion, but I say this, Mon's taking a bit of damage through the smoke. But over towards B they go.
Smoke dropped, Molly in hand, but actually, I guess it's to push that and throw it, and well, that hasn't. I guess it doesn't make too much of a difference because Bro and Zacko, sorry, just get the openers. They get 2 kills, and they will push through the Molly and run back through the Molly, somehow staying alive on 4 HP. 2v3, might as well go for this. No point to try and save. And all 3 players on the T side are just about half HP, so they certainly can get into it. D waiting for a peek, and a peek won't come. Steven's he's just waiting. He's got the discipline. He's respecting the push from UWE, and Monj certainly isn't, as he gets the first headshot, and as soon as that happens, Steven will swing out. Not actually get 1 round on the T side, so overall, not a bad result for Trent, I think, getting that in the end.
Agreed. I think it's a much better round there, you know, from Trent. They made a mid-round call, which worked really well in their favour, and because of that, it gave them the round in their hands. They manoeuvred back over towards B, and then, of course, there was 2 players still remaining there. It wasn't an easier case of just getting the bomb down and setting up the post plant. They had to win up those fights, which they did brilliantly. Used the utility in their favour, and just like that, they find themselves 16, but of course, it's still a long way to go. A flawless 3 rounds is what they need on CT side to take this one in OT number 1, while CSGO only need 2.
What is he doing? Look at this. Running straight in and dies to the Molly from Steven. A lot of damage done though, but Crit gets 2 back. Steven's somehow alive, missing the spray. Magic will finish him off. Bros just jumping in. There's chaos everywhere. And he does get 1 kill before getting shut down by Sinkski, but it's not enough, as Zacko is now left in a 1v3 with just an AWP.
And what was that? Do you know what? I really, really respect that from the Sea Stags, because they've given no respect to Trent. They've essentially gone, right, lads, let's just go for a full rush B, the most CIS strat ever. whole W of a Mac 10. They've got 16k to work with. They're like, yes, use a Mac 10. And it works. Credit where credit's due. Whiffin says that was awkward. That was awkward to watch as well. Awkward to cast. Credit to you for keeping up with that one. It was chaos. And that's exactly what happened. C-Stags find 18 and they find map and series point.
That was just what an event, and well, they don't go for the exact same thing again, luckily for Trent and luckily for me. Instead, they're going for something not quite, actually much slower. They're going straight through mid, and Whiffin will hit 2 shots, staying alive and fully healthy. Looking to stick around for more, and perhaps that peek through the molly was a bit too much, as he does get domed by Whiffin. Bruh finds a kill back, and that may be the kill needed. They need 2 rounds to try and keep them in this final and keep them in the upper bracket, as Magic just reacts into the headshot onto Bruh, but doesn't turn around, and he'll get shot in the back by Steven. 17-18, UWE needing 1 more round, and Trent needing a round to take it to double overtime. We're really going down to the wire here.
Yeah, it's either, of course, double OT on the cards, and Trent put another on the board, or it's UWE closing this series out. Question, who's it going to be? Quad 8 gate, 1 AWP versus the double AWP of Trent.
WAWP? Not too unsurprising on the CT side. Whiffin,
No.
obviously, he's been fantastic with it. He's been so good. I've said that too many times, said it too much, perhaps. And actually, Steven's actually got more kills, and Bruh's only 1 behind him. But I think just the impact he's had, these openings, has been so good, and hoping that the rest of his team can convert. Whereas now, he'll have to certainly get an opening, as he, Bruh, and Zacco are going to be tested, and Zacco, he's not faltering, hits the first shot blinded, but he gets a kill. The A-bomb site is now UWE's, though, and the lineup coming through is actually spammed back through the smoke. That does get the next kill. UWE finding 1. Spray through the smokes from the CT side. He's not landing. Magic should have had a kill, but Munch somehow coming out on top. Gets the man advantage, and they're wanting to take it to double OT.
Well, they're trying to make the retake work. Big nade coming through. D takes a lot of damage, but D and Crit going 1 apiece. Got the man advantage, and they're doubling it down. That's brilliant. It's a 1 versus 2, and Whiffin, the man who has been the shining light of a, at times, struggling Trent side who needs to go huge here. Time is out of the essence, tapping the bomb, holding it as well. Now going to get off it. Does have a lot of time to work with. Finds the first one towards D, but the trade comes in. 19-17. Mr. Hoy cleans this one up, and just like that, the 2-0 series in favour of the UWE C-Stags. They move, of course, in towards that finals position. Deservedly so as well. Brilliant performance from them. It was lackluster on that first half, it's safe to say. But as I said at halftime, they did it once against Portsmouth Paladins. Do not count them out. And for a second, I never did.
Yeah. I mean, as we said, there's certainly a possibility on any map, especially Mirage, and from a team like that caliber, you may have a faulty T side, but if your CT side is solid like that, you can just lock it down, and they certainly did. They brought it back, and it was a hell of a game, and it was a brilliant effort from Trent Thunder Diamond there. They really put up a hell of a fight. The first map, picking into Nuke, slightly weak, but I mean, it brought back a Mirage. And if you would have seen that Trent Thunder Diamond on Nuke, then this could have been a 3-map series. They could have taken it. It would have been so much better. Unfortunately, that's not quite how it went. Either way, Mirage was the cracker of a map. It really was.
It was, and if we're going to highlight individuals, we have to say Crit, right? I mean, a brilliant performance from him. Whiffin on the other side as well. Both 2 names I mentioned coming into this, right? Crit is a fantastic player, and I said, if we're going to keep an eye on anyone coming into this from the Trent side, it has to be Whiffin. I've casted a couple of his games before, and he always seems to pop off when needed most. He's a very versatile player, adapts very well to situations, and you got to feel bad for him. It's commiserations, right? He was individually brilliant, but the rest of his team just didn't come up to that same level. But credit where credit's due. UWE C-Stags, they were a fantastic team today, consistently finding rounds on the board, and when it mattered most, they clutched out. I said, against Portsmouth, they were terrible on their T side. They've seen it before. I think sad to say, it's actually a staple of their playstyle. They're not great on T side at all. They've done it once on Overpass, now on Mirage. It's maybe a consistent factor for them, but when it comes down to it, if you've got a strong enough CT side, you can rely on it.
Yeah, you certainly can. That is one way to put it. And they certainly demonstrate that their CT side is solid, and perhaps the best in this tournament. We will have to see as they do go through to the grand final now with a map advantage. Going to be more than happy with that, and a bit of a break too. Unfortunately for Trent Thunder Diamonds, they will go down to the lower bracket, playing versus the winner of Swansea Storm and the Tacos versus Portsmouth Paladins. And they are currently, as an update, on map 3. Each team did win their map pick, and Swansea are currently up 3-1 on Nuke of all maps, which is
of course.
I mean, of course it's Nuke.
Of course it's Nuke.
So,
standard.
yeah, obviously whoever wins out of that will be having a challenge to take on Trent Thunder Diamond, as they may have a rematch versus Swansea, may have an entirely new opponent of Portsmouth Paladins. We will have to see. Stay tuned for that. Make sure you're following the Null Twitter if you aren't. Make sure you join the Null Discord if you aren't already. Obviously, a shout out to our sponsors, who are Steel Series, bringing you award-winning gaming equipment with a Prime Student discount, and Intel making this broadcast possible.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you very much. Anyway, I've been at Pulio, and Neokai, unless you got anything else to say.
It's me done, mate. It was a pleasure joining you on the mic. It was good fun. Credit's due. UWE Stags, congratulations to them. Deservedly moving in towards that finals. And of course, Trent, it's not the end of the story. They've still got one more game to relive the dream and, of course, have that fabled rematch. Let's see if they can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you all next week.